It's very skinny, it looks like.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like a hand.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had a hamster for not a year ago. It died, but then it had.
Oh,
If you looked at its little paws, it looked just like a little human hand, and it would use its not opposable thumbs, like kind of, but it would use it to like grip it in the same way that we kind of would, which a cat or a dog would not be capable of doing in the same way. So they are more like human-ish. But whatever. I point out to the group. These look like rattling prints. So maybe there are rats in this area. This may be their home.
do we think they're friendly, or do we?
Point, Jowava. I look for food scraps or fur, like anything that might indicate that people have been camping or nesting here, or like spending more time than just passing through.
Okay. I won't necessarily need a roll for that. So as you sort of look around, you're looking for like little scraps of food, anything that would indicate some sort of civilization or campsite. As you sort of look around, you can see that there are small scraps of food, but there doesn't appear to be anything sort of like indicating a stop for camp. Maybe like there are like little crumbs and stuff hidden around the grass where the feet are flattened, but there isn't necessarily a condensed area.
Okay. I'm assuming that civilization, in the age that we are in, we have mastered fire to the point where we could make fireplaces, like campfires.
Correct. It is from today's perspective, sort of medieval European style, as all Fantasyland is. Thanks, Token.
It's just my. Oh, I do have candles, but I don't have any way of creating fire. I think the way in my inventory. Do any of you have
Like
a way to
steel?
like flint and steel for fire? And I look at Piper because I know I know we've probably seen him do some sort of magical stuff earlier. I'm assuming during our 6-month training, unless you've been hiding it.
I have a hooded lantern. That's a little different though. Although technically, if we're able to open up the glass container, we set that on fire.
Glass container?
So a hooded lantern is like, think of like a mining lantern.
Oh,
so it's got like the oil at the base and then the little wick that you would light, and then it has a focused beam of light.
But such a thing would always have a way to open it up and access the inner thing in case something breaks or you need to replace the wick. You would need to be able to access it, of course.
Or you light it. So you'd have to have a way to light that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It didn't list it as an item per se. I guess maybe they just were like, yes, you do have the things to make it a fire. Otherwise, maybe someone could roll like survival, I would think, because technically you don't have to have flint and steel to make a fire. You can do like the take some tiny, you set up your little sticks, and then you take like some like dried moss or dry something scrappy, and then you have a small stick and the wood, and then you're just trying to get it enough friction that it starts to burn.
Yeah. So do any of your characters have a proficiency in survive?
I do.
Yes.
Okay. Then with a proficiency in survive, that would come with some basic training to where you are trained enough to just know how to grab at the wood, do the friction, and create small fires over time.
Okay.
I make it a fire. We know how to make fire. It's fine.
I think we can make camp here. This is a good spot because if we make our camp in the middle of the clearing, then it will be hard for potential predators to ambush us from close range.
Enough.
Sounds fine to me.
Alrighty. We are
Good
making
stuff.
the camps.
And since he doesn't complain, we can make Chuckles watch camp all night. Huh?
But that will mean he'll be exhausted. So if he or actually, how is he on the dryness scale? Is he like starting to feel a little bit more dry?
He's drying his clothes on the fire, but otherwise he seems dry enough.
Okay. And he will be participating in combat or no?
No, he will not.
No. Okay.
Basically,
So he's a
count him
very
as
grumpy puppy.
basically count him as not here. But if he has an item in his inventory that could help, or etc., he is there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make him make decisions or have him get ambushed and killed without him being here.
You're cool with ambushing and killing us, just not him.
Yeah, you guys have the right to defend yourselves. I just decide, oh, he didn't notice. Clumsy
He's
Chuckles
really-
didn't decide to look towards that direction.
Yeah. Must have been the wind.
I told him to roll his perception checks, but every time he just rolled once. I couldn't help that. So no, I'm not putting your fate in my hands. I do that enough as is. You have some agency in the way you play.
So then we can't just say
Good
that
stuff.
Chuckles watches all night. So you're saying we
No,
have
no.
to have active roles in watching.
I will take the first watch if you guys want some rest.
Okay. I guess I will set up my bedroll. And then
Likewise.
Piper, did you have you did have a bedroll.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. To the naps.
Okay. So as the person actively taking watch, by the way, before I get into the actual watch parts, is everyone sleeping within whatever armor they have? Are they doffing their armor to sleep comfortably? Is the person
armor
keeping
am
watch
I-
keeping their armor on or off?
Well, my question is, I have I have leather armor. Would that cause any issues? Because it is more fabric. It's not like clunky metal like Chuckles.
Essentially, for this game, for the house rules, normally under a long rest, you recover all your hit points and all your spell slots, if I'm thinking correctly for how Pugmire works, as well as half your hit dice. Under, if you sleep with armor on, you would only recover up to half your hit points. Otherwise, you can still use hit dice that you have recovered to regain the rest, but it's not as restful.
My stamina hasn't really been hit, so I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Same.
I will stay in my leather.
Mhm.
Plus, it's the forest. I don't necessarily trust the forest. I trust Dante to watch, but if something should happen, I'd be like, I don't want to be unprotected.
I will lay out my shield and we can use it as sort of a table, makeshift table for food or whatever.
Now, just do note that if anything happens within the night and that you wish to take off your armor and put on armor later, it basically resets the 8-hour requirement for the long rest. So you either are going to, at the beginning, go for the full 8 hours. If you switch, it has to be a new 8 hours, per se, before you get the benefits of a long rest. So say you go 4 hours into a shift and you decide, oh, I got injured because we got attacked in the night or whatever, and I want to doff my armor. Well, that means resetting the 8-hour clock to get the full benefits. Otherwise, if you just go the other 4 hours, it's as if you had your armor on the entire time. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry, we'll get to it if it ever happens.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
It's also worth noting that I'm not wearing
I'm
armor.
also
Good
Are
to
you
know.
just wearing like a robe?
Yeah.
I am wearing a robe, but I also have a spell for it. So,
Oh, fair enough.
Nice.
The
Is it
benefits
like
of wizards.
mage armor?
yes. And I'm looking up the duration now.
Sounds good.
It's like 5e, it'd be 8 hours, but we'll see what
I
Pugmire
think
says.
it's
I would think
like
though for mage armor, is that a concentration or is it just
it is not
there?
concentration.
No.
It's
Oh,
there.
that's good. Okay.
And it
That's what it's-
specifically doesn't work if you're wearing armor, so I had to like not wear armor by default.
Gotcha. All right. Cool
Yeah.
beans.
I am also wearing light armor, if anyone asks.
What type of light armor? There's padded cloth. There's leather.
Yeah. More like padded cloth, I think.
Should be written in your items.
+2.
It's a plus
It says
2.
1 set of light armor. It's a +2 armor. Hell yeah. I think.
I have leather armor. It's 11 plus dex. +2.
It might have been like it raises your. That's how it works, right? It's not like plus. It raises your basic defense instead. I think
Mhm.
the way it works in
Swaps
Pugmire,
out
and
what
it might
the
just be
defense
11.
is for a different defense.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I believe
'cause
all light
I'm-
armor is 11, all medium armor is like 13, all heavy armor is 15, unless there is a specific modifier on that armor.
Yeah.
That's about right. Sorry.
Okay. So everyone's wearing armor if they have armor. If not, they're still wearing clothes.
No one's running around in their fur. It's fine.
Except for Chuckles. Okay, so first watch. Dante, since you're actively looking to make sure that nothing's attacking or doing anything weird, make an active notice roll.
I shall. As soon as I locate the button. There we go.
Okay. So,
Ten. Yeah.
Okay. So you sort of keep a basic watch. You sort of look at the outskirts. You figure the brush will sort of alert you to anything. So you take sort of a half dose of just like you glance around, see if any shadows move weirdly. You see if you listen for any brush that isn't just basic wind. And you can sort of start hearing a lot of brush activity sort of towards the east, based upon where you remember the last marker being. It doesn't.
Okay.
It sounds
I
like
start by checking. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I actually want to hear what you were going to say.
I start by checking that everyone I know is here, like counting snouts.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you sort of notice everyone just sort of taking a basic sleep. Everyone sort of seems to sort of be in that early stages of sleep. No one's really too deep in. The sound in the northeast appears to be sort of east, appears to sort of be getting slightly louder, but not super loud.
Excuse me.
Okay. Well, I keep my snout pointed straight at the bushes, but I don't wake anyone up yet.
Okay. Sorry, ignore the man behind the curtain.
Didn't even know there was a curtain.
We can't see you, by the way. If you're trying to project videos to us, Jowafa, we are not able. I am not able to see you anyway.
I'm not
Neither
able
am
to
I.
see me anyway. I'm not able to see Beta either. So
What? I see
Oh.
myself.
yeah, I can only
Try
see
try
Keech.
reloading.
I have done this.
Try reloading
a
the
few
page.
dozen
That works.
times.
Okay.
Keej, can you see me
Okay.
on my webcam?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I see it. I see Keej. I see me. I just
hit
know
refresh
Jeef
and
does not have a
I can
web.
no longer see Keech
Okay.
Huh.
Great.
because Roll20 and whatever I'm using Google Chrome, so I'm surprised the browser's being the way the browser's being. But
Like all I know is it's like Roll20 is just like when I tried to turn the webcam off, it's just like No. Everyone needs to see you. And I'm like, oh, I'm eating my cereal. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Oh, because that's the way that works. Got it. I understand. Okay, Keej is back. Keej is left. Beta's here. Okay, Keej is back. Life is good. Okay, life is better.
Jowafa is loading. I don't see Jowafa yet.
I don't see Jowafa yet, so we're both in this together. Okay. So as you are sort of looking towards the direction of the blah blah blahs of the noise, you start to see the brush around the eastern begin to move a little bit. Something is definitely heading in this direction and is coming from the east. Beta went away.
Okay. So I will rustle the other three, but I'm guessing Chuckles sleeps really heavily, so he doesn't mind the rustling. Or I rustle him on the outside of his heavy armor, like his steel armor. That's why he doesn't feel it. But at least I wake up the other two, Nistka and Piper. Be like, ruff, ruff.
Okay. In the middle of your wonderful yet slightly terrifying anxiety dreams, you feel yourself be slightly shaken awake by the big Dante Dane.
What's the matter?
Something's coming. And you can see my ears are like pointing straight up. Do.
Okay. Within a few moments of you shaking them awake, you sort of look back to the east and you can see.
Is it friendly?
Slightly clearing the brush of the eastern side of the encampment, appear to be large blue glowing creatures. They appear to be on all fours, so not on their hind legs, and they appear to be approaching.
Is it like Princess Bride, rats of irregular size,
perception?
or however that's worded?
A perception roll?
Or no, not a perception roll, your passive perception.
Oh.
So it's
minus
10 plus your bonus, I think.
Yep, 10 plus wisdom bonus, which is 0, so it's a passive of 10. Okay, you just notice these as being basically like large glowy blobs, essentially.
Is it a slime? I wonder if it's a slime.
Something blue is coming.
Something blue? Is it borrowed?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That's not what that does. That.
So we see the thingy?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's a setting here for that. It does not appear that there is. Oh well. I was seeing if like how with certain tokens you can like put in, I know in Fantasy Grounds you can put a torch. In other words, they're carrying a light and therefore they glow slightly to indicate that light source. I don't think there's anything here in Roll20 for that kind of feature.
There is, but it's a premium.
Give it an aura?
No, not an aura. Aura was just a constant color versus like a slight light. Anyway, Piper?
There is a dynamic lighting system, but it's a premium feature for Roll20. You have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that we have a more... Obviously, the forest is a bit more brushed around, but as is. You see the large creatures begin to approach. They appear to be sniffing the ground and sort of looking up. As they approach...
That looks like a cat.
Jowafa, I gave myself the smallest sized aura I could think of. This is what it looks like. You could try that. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but...
Wait, I don't see Dante. Oh, wait.
I'm right here.
Oh, wait, there you are. Okay, never mind. I was like, wait, which one?
I just wanted to have a feeling of like, yeah, they're glowing. Maybe I can
Okay.
make that a 1 instead of a 2.
Oh,
So those are cats. Or,
ghost, bear, badger
Ghosts.
things.
yeah.
The creature, the creatures, as they sort of approach, you sort of look up as they're sniffing the ground. They look over towards your guys' campfire, and you see the one that would be on your guys' left. Just sort of like look up and go, "More intruders. Clearing of the forest is in deep need."
Oh,
Maybe-
these are sentient things.
And they begin to
We
approach,
come in peace.
and shall leave in pieces.
Oh snap. Okay. Not
Jesus.
friendly.
Or
Not
sorry,
friendly.
man. By man.
The famous man, Jesus.
Oh yeah, the most famous of them all.
Son of man's best friend.
Roll for initiative.
Okay. You need to.
Oh, remember to select your character first. Your miniature.
Oh, right.
Hey, got it right in the first try.
There's the initiative button.
Hey, I
for
love
this.
rolling awful.
As
Mine's
I never,
adorable.
as apparently remembered the initiative tracker from last time. So how do
It
I
didn't remember
clear?
it for me. It's a new initiative track from mine.
Is it?
Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see us.
Dante was first. I'll be going second, and Piper
Okay.
will be third because we have a 10, an 8, and a
I'm
2.
just gonna then.
Oh, look at us,
remove-
all even numbers. It's adorable.
It still showed the last. It's like it showed Ruffles in the combat. I'm like, wait.
Ruffles to the rescue!
Ah, okay.
Okay, so now back to this. But now I roll for that. Wonder if there's a way for me to just quickly roll initiative for them. I can just right click and get add
Select
turn.
one of them and
Okay.
oh,
I don't have a way of just right click and be like, roll for their initiative.
I mean, if you started them out, you should be able to do it the same way we did. They have a button on their character sheets with
I think it's because I didn't set up character
Initiative.
sheets for them.
right.
I just
Yeah, then it wouldn't work, obviously.
Okay. What I can do.
Can we roll like a check to see if we know what kind of thing they are?
Certainly, I'll allow that as a reaction of what would this be per se? Because I know this game has a lot of different knowledge rolls.
Yeah.
Religion, history, or I'd say it's no spirituality. That looks like a cool one. Probably no one took.
Do I need to be proficient to try? Or
Yeah. I'd say either no spirituality or no arcana, and you would need a proficiency in either one to have to be allowed to roll.
I am proficient in no arcana, and that's a 24.
Okay. From your arcana background knowledge, in many places where they were considered sacred by mortal man, the men would actually in ancient times use their magical powers to create spiritual protectors of sacred places, of which if they were outside invaders, they would create electromagnetic sort of energies that would basically defend the area.
So I know that man used to make things like this, but I don't know necessarily that these were made by man.
Not necessarily. A lot of times in what will happen is like other races that have been able to make slight replications, such as the monarchies that are more proficient in their magical prowess than necessarily their survivability. Sometimes they've been able to recreate similar effects, but otherwise you're not certain if this is necessarily an artifact from man that is creating these defenders, or if another slightly advanced race of like either the Pugmire Dog Kingdom or the Mao Monastery has recreated something like this for the Fearful Forest.
One moment.
Okay.
What do I know about their interactivity with the world? Do they have a physical form that can be disrupted by harm?
Yeah, they generally have a physical form as their energies are sort of manifested into some sort of anchor. And as you attack the body, you sort of attack the anchor that keeps them in a physical form, because that's how they sort of defend against physical objects.
Okay. So magical / technological creations, but not necessarily incorporeal. Good to know.
Yeah, so
Do I know anything about their offensive capabilities?
Not necessarily on the specifics of these specific ones, but generally they tend to have physical powers based upon the form they take. So in other words, if it were in the image of a dog, it would tend to have the capabilities of a dog.
Got you. And what do these look like?
Like glow in the dark bears.
Okay. Sorry, what were you trying to say, Keej?
I don't know.
Oh.
Was I trying to say something?
I thought you were trying to interject. That's okay.
No.
I guess I will blurt out something out loud about them being capable of inflicting physical harm and capable of physical harm being inflicted on them.
Well, since Bear Spirit 1 goes first, I will... And since all we are is waiting for beta. So.
I'm back.
Oh, good. The bear spirit on your left-hand side that spoke begins to rush forward towards Dante, and it gets onto its hind legs and swipes down with a large glowy claw. But Dante, in his preparedness of keeping watch, has his weapons already drawn and is quickly ducking and weaving as the bear's claw comes crashing down, hitting the spot where he was. You can see what appears to be small, sort of like static aura sort of hit down. You feel your fur come a little bit on edge as you narrowly dodge, and you can feel the air begin to sort of feel a little bit heavier, as almost as if a manifestation of the effects the forest has been having on your nose this entire time is it has a physical presence in front of you. Dante.
Rude. All right. Would you say I then have my weapon and shield ready? You said I have my weapon ready, but my shield?
I would say so.
Okay. All right. So, now some rules questions, because I haven't played 5e for a while, but is there a way to 5-foot step? And or do you take attacks of opportunity from spellcasting?
You do not take up attacks of opportunity from ranged attacks unless they have a special feat for it. The 5-foot step has been replaced by an action called a disengage, which allows you to move without triggering opportunity attacks, but that takes the place of your action instead of attacking or something.
Also, if you are, as long as you're moving within the, wait, in here, I'll just move myself for a second. So, like, let's say I'm here. If I move here, it doesn't trigger an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, it's only when you exit their reach.
That's where it would trigger. So.
Okay. And spellcasting, you said ranged attacks, but I wasn't talking about a ranged attack, just a spell.
Spells generally don't have attacks of opportunity similar to ranged, and like I said, unless there's a special feat. Like there are some feats even in 5e that say you get an attack of opportunity with your spells. So general rule, no.
I think he's saying if he's casting a spell, does the enemy get an attack of opportunity?
Oh, by default, no.
No.
Yeah, that. So there's a little bit of a difference.
I forgot like in 3.5 and before they had those type of things.
They did, because if you were near an enemy, they had a chance to swipe at you to disengage your spell.
Yeah, to stop your little chants and blah blahs while you're But no, there's nothing like that. There are now combat wizards.
Okay.
Okay. Final rules question, I promise.
No, you're fine.
You know, I think I read that I have to touch my holy symbol in order to cast spells, but I have a shield and a weapon already in hand. So, do I have to drop one
Where do you keep
in order to
your
cast a
holy
spell?
symbol?
Is your holy symbol like a necklace?
I keep it at that area anyway underneath my cloth. So like it's easily accessible underneath the robe.
Okay, so is it in a pocket? Is it hanging like a necklace? That's sort of what I'm.
Let's say like a fold inside the cloth, right?
Okay. You wouldn't necessarily have to drop it per se, but you basically would have to reach into your, depending on if it's your sword hand or your shield hand. You wouldn't be able to grab it with your shield hand. Your shield hand is heavy enough holding a shield. But your sword hand, you should be able to reach into your pocket carefully and touch your holy symbol.
All right. So I just whisper, "Man, protect me," and then I cast Shield of Faith.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I guess it glows a bit.
Now, remind me, Shield of Faith gives you a +2 to your ACs, as long as you're concentrating?
Yeah. Plus to defense for concentration.
Okay. So as he whispers Shields of Faith, you see what appears to be a small floating shield that just sort of hangs around where Dante is, and sort of appears to be it's moving somewhat slowly, so it's still offering some protection, but it's appearing to sort of go in between himself and the bear. Okay. Anything else? I'm not sure. I think Shield of Faith is a bonus action.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I only know 5e rules. I don't know specific Pugmire character spell action
I will
costs.
look it up. Give me a sec.
I am going.
I have it right here. So yeah, it is a bonus section. You're right. So that means I can also attack. Oh,
That's handy.
all right.
I'm so glad that it's very like 5e. I can help a little.
You mean poi? Sorry. I will then swing my iron rod. My weapon, by the way, is not a sword. It's a rebar metal rod with a bit of concrete stuck at the tip, that he sort of looted somewhere, just like a makeshift weapon.
That is awesome.
Because it's post-apocalyptic.
I'm so used to everyone just having longsword. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know why it rolled 2d6 here.
One is for the attack
either.
roll, one is for the damage roll, assuming you hit. Oh, 2d6.
Oh, okay, nice. Clever.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it rolled 2d6.
Weird, because it should have just rolled a d20,
It
in other
seems
words,
to
you
be
got
the-
a 17 to hit, and you rolled 1d6 plus 1 for 4 damage. Okay, so you swing your rebarbed concrete stick at the bear. As the paw is down, you hit at the paw. You can feel it hit against the electromagnetic field. It sort of bounces back a bit, but you can definitely feel like you see the bear react as if it is in pain as you swipe at the arm.
Stay back, beast. And that's my turn.
Okay.
Okay. Then it's on to the next electronic bear.
Pull up a Word document to keep track of their current health. I don't want it to be very obvious. Very good. Okay, Beer Spirit 2. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay. You see the bear rush forward. You see basically it go onto its hind legs, standing tall, about maybe 2.5 or 1.5 Dante's tall, and you see it just sort of come crashing down onto the ground. I need Nistka to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. You pull up my character sheet here. Dexterity saving throw. Do, do, do. Okay, proficiency with this.
Okay, and very nice. So you see as the bear comes down and hits the ground, you see the grass that was pretty flattened before it started to stand up straight as you can see what appears to be a small blue current just traveling among the foliage towards Nistka. Nistka quickly jumps up as the electricity would have hit that spot, but she still feels a little bit of tin, so only half damage, so 2 lightning damage.
Oi. 1, 2. I'm still alive.
Niska.
Barely a scratch. Yay. So this thing is now pretty close to me. I will.
Interesting. Do the bars update? When you update your current HP, or you're keeping track of your HP like on pencil and paper?
I have my
There we
HP
go.
in my character thing. Oh, I had to exit out of the stamina point box. Okay.
Cool.
That did it.
So now everyone can tell how
so-
healthy or unhealthy everyone looks.
Yeah.
I can't
guess
see that on her.
Correct. I can
Same.
only see my own bar.
weird because I can see,
Yeah.
well, I can't see Dante's bar, but I at least see Piper as a full green bar.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me
Not sure why we can see Piper's then.
Can be controlled.
let me
in all
take a step
fighters.
here. And oh wait, do I want to go here
Let
or
me quickly Google that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I can do this because I'm not within attack range there. So 1,
Let's go to the
2,
tokens advanced
3,
tab.
4,
Okay,
5, 6,
Dante.
30. And then because we have advantage, I get my. Oh wait, do I
Advanced.
want to go there? Because then Piper's kind of by himself. Yeah, no. Hmm.
Okay, is that changing anything?
Something's showing now. Yep. Now I can see her hit point bar.
And now I don't see the numbers for Dante and Piper, but I do see they have green bars.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll do this. This is fine. It's fine. All
I
right.
do
So I have
Hey,
advantage.
now there's numbers too.
Hey,
Assuming you
now I
guys all
see
want
everybody.
to see actually everyone's health bars. You
That's
wanna-
helpful, yeah.
Sure.
Works for me.
It's a little bit of a cooperative game, as far as I've heard. IT hype.
hmm
Okay,
Alright,
so
so-
Niska's moved.
Yes, I did. So I moved 30 to get behind the big bear
5,
here,
10,
so I have
15,
advantage.
20, 25. That looks like 35 to me, assuming... Wait,
I do have
Start with-
35 movement though, so I was
Very good.
here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yep,
yeah, because only the first diagonal is 5 feet. Every other one is 10 feet.
you are correct. All right, and because I have advantage in this spot, I believe I get my precise attack, which is plus 1d6 in melee. Well, if you are in advantage in melee. So I will roll. I think it's this 1d20 plus.
Oh, you can't just toggle advantage and click on the attack?
How do I toggle advantage on my character sheet? Plus, you have a d6 that I get to roll, which you can't just.
Well, when you roll the attack, it rolls the attack and the damage. You don't roll
Right,
double
but
dice
with
for...
precise, but with precise attack, it gives me a plus 1d6. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
Yeah. When I used to do this for D&D, I used to just make an attack regular, and then I made attack plus sneak. I just updated the damage die, but as for
Right.
toggling advantage and disadvantage, this might just not be as interactive of a character sheet necessarily to be able to toggle that feature.
I do not see a toggle.
Okay.
So I'll do this. So roll 2d20. And then 1d6. And then it's plus my proficiency, which is a plus 5. I think this will work. Or not. No, that's not going to work. Nope. So we're going to have to do roll 1d20.
I think you have to start it with a slash, like or is it backslash? The
Yeah, it's the /R, which is what I did. And then
Right.
1d20 plus, let's do a plus to separate. 1d6, I think I see what it did. And then plus 5. Was that the math we're looking for? So that's the first roll. And we get a second roll.
No. I think you said 1d20 plus 1d6, so now it added them together. Is that what you want?
No.
Well, yes, because basically with precise
No.
attack, it allows.
Oh, sorry.
No?
Go ahead. The precise attack.
Let me walk through.
Sure.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I do
sure.
have so with precise attack, it adds a d6 to the roll. I get this in melee when I am in advantage. So
Are you
we
sure
have to
it's
roll.
the attack roll, not the damage roll?
Says plus
That's what I was thinking.
1d6 if advantage in melee, or if an ally is within 5 feet of the target for range. Let me go double check the book. Maybe my note's not clear enough.
It seems like it's based on sneak attack, which means it should be damage and not attack.
Yeah, but
Okay,
the
so
fact
then
it's
I'd
called
have to.
precise is interesting. So we'll go with it that's a damage roll for now, but I will look it up.
Okay, so then if it's a damage roll for now, then we just remove the 3. So then it's 11 plus 5 for the 1 roll. So that's a 16. And then if I roll again, because we're still dealing with advantage, so you take the better of 2 d20s.
Correct.
So roll D. Actually, I might be able just to use this then, because this should have the plus 5.
Yeah, so precise.
I'm gonna
attack.
make a quick test here.
Once per turn, the Ratter may add 1d6 to a melee attack damage roll if she has advantage for any reason, or if an ally of the Ratter is within 5 feet of the target. It is to damage rolls. Converted.
Okay, it's to damage rolls. Okay. All right, so we either had a 16 or a 22.
Ignore that roll.
Very good. Okay.
So the 22 is better. So it rolled my 3d or 1d4 plus 3. Oh, it rolled. Interesting. So did it roll? Wait, I don't know what happened now because the dice changed. Okay. Well, we'll take the 22 and then we'll roll 1d6.
Everything is in the log. You can read everything that was rolled by hovering over the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a total of 13 damage because I got. Well, there's a 22 hit. That's the question.
Yes. Yes, a 20.
Okay.
A 22 hits.
Okay. So 7 damage, and then with the extra d6, 13. So 13 damage on this bear.
Okay. Remind me what kind of weapon you use.
A dagger.
Oh,
Piercing.
it says right there. Oh, thank you, Roll20. So you take your dagger as you slice into the bear's electroflex. You feel it almost like you're scraping against like a plastic or a rubber as your blade sort of glides along the field. You feel the bear sort of like move backwards as you feel the blade come forth. You sort of jump back as you're going through your slice as the bear turns its attention towards you.
Hi, buddy.
Okay. And then Piper.
Got a step.
Alrighty.
You see it also after you've finished the slice. You can sort of see the once more slightly fuller blue field start to sort of dim a bit. It's almost as if it was half translucent. Now it's like faded translucent.
All right, I'm going to move slightly to the northwest. Do diagonals cost extra?
The first diagonal does not. All other diagonals are double.
These are ghost bears, guys. Ghost bears.
Okay,
At least I think they're ghost bears.
Ooh.
that'll do. And I will fire my elemental ray at the bear they are currently flanking.
Nice. Elemental ray it up.
Yep. So 24 to hit
Guys are
Nice.
rolling nice.
for 6 cold damage.
Okay.
What kind of sound does that make?
The slight tinkling of ice as molecules of water in the air solidify and fall to the ground.
Nice.
Nice.
Sounds all sparkly.
Mhm.
As a cold wind begins to rush between Dante and Nistka, you see the bear as it begins to start turning around towards Niska, its face racing right towards Piper as a blast of cold air splashes along its face. You can see it roar out in anguish. And where it was going translucent before, it almost feels like it's just barely there. Like Dante can clearly see Niska from across the bear's field. It almost appears to only be like a small outline left. To where I'm even just gonna go. That still has an aura, even when I put 0 there. Just
I don't
delete.
think I even see the aura.
Save. There we go.
What?
Aura's gone.
And that'll do it.
Undo this. Okay. The bear spirit, and it's enraged. You see it get on its hind legs once again, like the other bear did, and you see it begin to slam down upon the grass around it. Dante
Oh,
and
rude.
Niska, make a dexterity saving throw.
Hey. Oh no. You're gonna hurt.
Oof.
Oof.
Oh no.
Oh.
It's gonna hurt more.
As Dante had his back turned before, he doesn't really notice, and Beta, Niska just assumed that this one was too weak in order to be able to shoot its electricity out. But you see, as it slams on the grass, the electricity sort of goes within a 5-foot field around it, as actually 10-foot field, but as Dante and Niska start to feel the small shiverings of static electricity sort of fill up their legs into their body. Each of you takes 4 lightning damage.
Okay, this hurts more.
As it finishes doing that, you see it sort of begin to start fading out, almost like as if it's using somewhat of its life force in order to be able to do that. I am going to...
So the less charge they have, the
And
less
it-
they exist.
and
Oh, it's
it-
dead.
And it dissipates into the void.
Oh,
This is not kind of difficult terrain. I'm just
did it
marking where it died.
scream?
Did it scream?
Did it scream Allahu Akbar as it did it?
No, these aren't French.
Aged why?
No, but the other bear
All right.
is turned towards to see that. I wonder if I can go. Yep, I can just do that. Turns towards to see what's going on, and looks at his partner that has just dissipated, and he growls, "You pathetic intruders, all of you on the hinds. You will pay for your interference. The Earth Mother will not let you rest until you have been crushed beneath its soil and used as nutrients." Dante.
All right. Well, I'll follow that up with, "Don't listen to him or it. Man protects us." And once again, I reach under my cloth. Well, in this case, whatever. I'll pull it out because this is an action. I'll scream my thing, and you guys see that I have like a tennis ball in my hand,
Oh.
and I bless us all. Nah, isn't that nice? Up to 3 characters that you can see within range. So that's all of us.
What about Chuckles?
And we get 1d4. Who gives a fuck? We free. We get a plus 1d4 to our next saving throws.
Hooray!
And
Is it only saving
then
throws
I
in this
will
version?
move. Only saving throws.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. Onto the next target's next attack, ability, or saving throw before the spell ends.
Nice.
So yeah, you're right. You can
Right.
put it on. I think it has to be the next one. It doesn't say you can choose.
Yeah.
Right.
15, 20. Yes. Okay, well, let's see what this cat does. Or bear. Bear, not cat. Bear. See what this bear does. Otherwise, on my turn, I think I can get advantage again.
Sorcery. The bear turns towards Dante, who seems to be doing a very good job as tank. He takes his claw and attempts to strike at Dante, powering its large claws down upon the worrisome man shield. What is your AC now, by the way? With the +2.
Well,
I'm
what was
assuming your
the
shield of
question?
faith is still on. What is your current AC?
yeah.
Every time you
17.
take damage while concentrating, you're supposed to make a save.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
true.
right. Can you make a
Oh.
Constitution saving throw for me? I think the DC is only 10.
Which kind of save would that be?
Constitution.
Constitution.
Oh, really? I get plus 1d4 when I make Constitution saves, so that's nice. Because of my hardy Constitution. But that's not going to be enough here. So I am no longer Shield of Faithed. Oh, well. So that's 15 then for my defense.
Okay. The claw begins to slash into your armor. You can feel the statics, electricity sort of pierce into your chest and sort of go through out your body, feeling it directly entering into your bloodstream. But that is not a D8. Let me get a real D8. That's one of those loaded D8s I have.
Loaded D8s.
Okay,
Hey,
not
now.
loaded D8s. It's a party D8 where half the symbols on it are of a beer mug for drinking. That's not going to work. You have to take a drink,
Crazy.
Keej.
Got it.
You don't take damage, but
I could live with that.
okay. You feel 3 bludgeoning and
You got cut off mid-sentence, I think.
I apologize. So it was 3 bludgeoning, 1 lightning. I'm pretty sure damage types don't matter at this point, but
Yeah.
so 4 damage.
So then I'm rolling a Constitution save in order to keep the blitz going, I guess.
Is plus concentration?
Yep,
Oof.
we got it.
Okay. Yeah, because I believe for concentration, the DC is either 10 or half of the damage you took, whichever is greater.
Oh. And this would spend my bless, of course, because I'm adding another d4 to this. Oh, well.
Get hit. Use your bless to make bless still active. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That is
It means the other guys get to keep it.
That is the bear spirit. Nistka.
Yes. So
As
I
a
get
reminder,
to move.
The thing.
you can move through that thing. I just marked where it died.
I understand.
So.
5, 10, 15,
Remember,
20,
5, 15, 25, 35.
35. My bad.
Ta-da. You still could do it, but math.
Yeah. Okay. So dagger time. We're gonna be doing 2 rolls of dagger because we have advantage. 1.
So remember, your first attack roll has an additional plus 1d4.
Oh. Shit. So okay. Well, for this one, I guess we will roll 1d4. I'll just add that. That's adorable. And then I get to roll a second round of it.
Roll another d20 because advantage.
Yep.
Okay, we're still only going with the first damage roll, but a 15 plus 1, 16 does hit. Is it? You need to roll an additional d6 for the damage.
I do need to roll an additional d6. Yes.
So 4 plus a d6.
1d6. Hey.
6.
That's
so 10 damage.
12 damage.
10 damage.
10 damage?
Yeah. So you don't, when you roll over advantage, you don't roll your damage roll twice.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm using the first roll of your damage because I know you just clicked on your attack roll to make it easier.
Yeah. So, okay, so 10 damage total.
Okay. The dagger glides along the backside of the bear. The bear appears to be in quite discomfort as it goes half translucent. This bear, even when it was first coming out, this bear appeared to already have been a little bit slightly shimmery. You didn't really notice before because both were fairly like just coming at you, but this one appears to have been dimmer in of itself. And we have Piper just rushing over Elemental Cold Blast in it. 14 does hit, and 18 hits.
For 4 cold damage. Not the best.
Not the best, but not the worst. You see as the cold hits, you see it seems to be affecting this bear quite even more. It's like more perturbed by the cold hitting its face than it is by the daggers and by the hammers smacking at the bears. The bear appears to be heavily enraged and appears heavily translucent.
Does that indicate that it's vulnerable to cold or that it's resistant to physical?
I cannot confirm deny either one.
Fair enough. All right, that's my turn.
Dante.
That means it be I?
Aye.
All right. I see no reason to hold stuff back, so I will Shield of Faith myself yet again. So that I have my things online. And then I shall roll against the thing with advantage. And I have tried to create a macro. Let's see if this works.
Before you go too deep, I need to point something out.
Sure.
You can only have one concentration spell active at a time.
Or everyone's already used their bless.
Correct. I'm just
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, bless is
I was
no
just trying to
longer
point out
active.
because before you had Shield of Faith active, and then you tried to cast Bless, but it turned out your Shield of Faith was already gone.
Mhm.
You didn't know that, and now yes, the Bless has been expended, so Shield of Faith is fine to cast. It's just a matter of making sure you police that. Sorry,
It is a good point.
And I am happy. Yeah, that's fair. And I just didn't know that what was it? Bless had concentration, but I just looked that up and it does. But so yeah, I made a macro and it seems to be working. I have set it to roll 2d20 and keep the highest and add 2. So that makes it
Which is
20
your
for this.
proficiency
And
modifier.
then we will. Yeah, that's 2. Right?
Yep. And I'd say you may want to update your macro to be like a melee attack, so it adds your strength modifier in as well. But 20 hits.
Oh.
Because for attacking,
20.
you get your base, your either strength or dex, depending on if it's melee or ranged, and you get your proficiency modifier for the attack roll. Damage, it's just the
C.
Yeah. 1d6. Oh, only a +1. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I rolled terrible stats, so I don't have the best stuff.
Fair enough. But it is so weakened at this point that you swing at it with your mighty concrete on stick, and you just smack it along the face, hitting upon where the coldness is sort of stuck onto its electrical face, and you just bop straight into it, flattening its face out as you see the blueness dissipate into the void. Now, from Niska's perspective, so from what Niska know, actually, what's everyone's passive perception? I should actually have this written down.
10.
So mine would be 11.
Does
Right.
proficiency in notice apply to passive perception?
Correct.
I would
It
think
would.
so,
Then
yes.
mine is a 12.
11, 10. I'll write those down. Dante. 11 is Niska. 12 is Piper. Okay. So, yeah, only Piper would notice this. So Piper, you notice as the bear dissipates into the void, you see a bit of it start to rush towards Dante and sort of go in and pierce into his chest as his chest lights up for a fraction of a second and then goes dim again. The rest of the particles
Creepy.
appear to go into the air. Okay.
Dante, are you all right?
Oh,
Did you-
no, not really, Piper. I am bleeding from various openings already, so maybe it's an obvious. It's
Well, I meant beyond that.
You and me both. A bit sore.
I'm going to cast Smell Magic, which is basically detect magic, and I'm going to examine Dante.
Okay.
glorious.
From Dante, you can smell. I love it. Smell magic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can
you
smell
smell
upon
things?
his person. You can smell by his chest. You can smell what appears to be a holy sort of smell, and it seems to be also emanating from his palm now, where his tennis ball sits. But in addition, you can sort of smell a deeper primal magic, sort of wafting off of the pores from his chest. Similar spot where his ball would have been kept close to where it is, but this appears to be sort of more of a primal, more of enchanting, spiritualist magic rather than a man-made magic.
I don't mean to alarm you, but I believe there's a possibility that the bear did something to you as it died.
Did something to me?
Yes, I'm not 100% sure what it did or how to describe it, but it appeared to be some form of magical emanation as it dispersed.
So I sort of pat myself up and down and smell myself. Can I feel anything different to offer other than being my cuts and bruises?
No, you smell like you're a little bit fried, but
Definitely smell toasty.
Well, I may need to sit down a bit by the fire after this
Same.
tussle.
That sounds reasonable to me. I do not feel worse for wear, so I'll take a watch if you like, so you can rest up.
Well, that's kind of you, Piper.
And for this case, because armor would impact it, I guess I will take my leather armor off, so I will sleep in just my clothes.
remember, essentially, you'd have to reset the long rest at this point if you wanted to get the benefits of rest without armor.
How deep into the rest were we? Like 2 or 3 hours?
2 hours in, roughly.
It's not so bad.
So is that okay, or
Yeah.
Essentially, each watch is roughly 2 hours. I always imagine it. Generally, that's why a party of 4 is like cool, because then you can cover the entire long rest. Everyone's still getting decent sleep. Which Chuckles will take up.
So then I will also. Okay. But I will also take off my armor then.
Okay.
Keep
So
it consistent.
The long rest. And so Piper does the first watch. Actively watching. Roll a d20 wisdom, or not wisdom. Notice.
Notice? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The wind blows between the trees. You can, every now and then, when you try to sniff out, you can smell the faintness of the fungi and the pollen. You start to feel a little bit dizzy, and you put your mask back on a little bit, sort of be able to keep watch. But the hallucinogens of the plants seem to have your head a little bit fuzzy, as you have difficulty keeping a proper eye open, and you feel yourself a little bit to doze. After a little bit of time has passed, and you feel like, it has to have been a few hours, you sort of wake up, and you see everyone sort of still sleeping around the campfire fine.
Well, that's fortunate.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to basically, it appears that your watch has gone by uneventfully.
You wake up and everyone's dead. You fucked up. Whoops.
Who wants to build the new characters that they find in the forest?
Oh boy.
All right. I don't think we established who was next.
Well, you get that decision because everyone else is unconscious. You can choose Chuckles, and I will just have you roll a d20, and that will be Chuckles' ability to watch.
In that case, I will rouse Chuckles and have him take a watch.
Okay.
Just roll a straight d20?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay.
The dice like me today.
Nistka, after a few hours of in between a dream, you feel yourself nudged up by Chuckles. Who just casually looks over and goes, "Your turn. I need my beauty sleep."
Okay. Sounds good. Alright, so I'm awake.
The fun part is every time when everyone rolls low, I just basically get to say, okay, the thing happens. Next. I don't get to describe anything.
So it's rolling. Where is it? Search, right?
Notice.
Notice? Oh,
Yep.
I'm going to grab a glass of water. I'll be right back.
notice.
Search is the equivalent of an investigation roll.
Hey,
Notice
look
is
at
the
that.
equivalent of a perception. 18.
I did good. This could be either good or bad.
Well, it's always
I
good to
also
notice.
I have my cloth over my snoot.
Very good. So as
I
you're
don't want any.
as you're
expressive
looking around the
moments.
outskirts of the brush, you seem to notice that there has been every few wags or so, there's been like a rustle along the northern edge of the clearing.
As if it's wind, or like
The wind has mostly been swaying of the trees. It hasn't really been going so low as to the brush to really cause it to move or shiver. But it's been like shaking a little bit on the north. But otherwise, nothing appears to be approaching towards the campfire, and the trees appear to sway as normal in line with the wind.
is Nistka super curious, or is she just happy that it's not coming this way? I think I'm going to stay with the party, and I will keep an eye on that bush during my watch, just to make sure nothing pops out of it. But otherwise, I'm just making sure things are okay.
Okay. As the rest of your watch goes by, you sort of keep an eye on this bush, paying special close attention. It seems almost like semi-rhythmically, whether or not there's a wind blowing or not, the bush shakes a little bit and then sort of dies down, or you can hear a little bit of rustling behind the bush. but the rest of your watch goes by uneventfully as you count sort of how often this seems to be happening. None of the other bushes around appear to sort of be giving this off.
Okay.
Okay,
Dante.
so, yep, one watch left. Since as it goes on to dawn,
Mm-hmm.
It's your turn.
you guys have gotten 6 hours of
Jowafa,
sleep.
you
without
have to
a trigger.
remember, if I can see the moon, you have to let me know.
I am aware. I am keeping that in mind.
Good.
If you see the full moon.
Right. So I roll a notice.
Yeah. Oh, I also mentioned that bush over there likes to wiggle, but nothing comes out of it. So unless something starts jumping out of that bush, I think we're fine.
Did you sniff it?
I didn't want to move away from the party just in case it was a distraction, but I've been keeping my eye on that bush.
I go
just
over and
didn't-
sniff it.
It's
Okay.
your watch. I'm going to bed.
Okay. Make a search roll for me. Okay. You sort of go over and you take a bit of a sniff. You feel the effects of like the hallucinogenics sort of hit your brain pretty hard, but you sort of squint and keep a focus on your mental psyche in order to maintain your sense of direction and sanity. In addition to the smell of the heavy pollen, you can have a somewhat heavy scent of sweat and of life. You're not exactly certain what's been here, but there has been something alive here recently. And it's based upon how strong the smell is. It either has to have been within like seconds, or there has been plenty of this has to have been like a common place for a creature to have resided for a long time in order to have this strong of a scent.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Your voice echoes into the fearful forest, and the void does not respond.
Must have been the wind. And then I go back. So then I take my watch.
Okay. Assuming actively trying to keep watch, make a notice check. What? Okay.
Yeah.
You sort of keep a basic eye out. You're a little bit wary of the bush because Nistka seemed worried, but otherwise everything seems fine. It's only about halfway into your shift you see the bush shake a bit. You instantly hear it, and you sort of look over, and the bush appears to just be finishing like a couple of leaves fall, but then goes still again.
All right. So I take from my pack of food. We have rations and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Just some bread, some good meat, good food, bread, whatever we have, and then throw it by the bush. Not trying to aim so that it ends just like inside the clearing, and I would see if someone grabbed it, but not necessarily so much that they would have to expose themselves.
Fair enough. Yeah, you throw the food, and the food just sort of stays there by the bush.
All right.
The rest of your shift, the bush doesn't shake, and your watch goes by uneventfully for the remainder of it.
All right.
Okay, so
Okay.
heavy couple hours past dawn. Everyone gains the benefits of their long rest without armor, so the full HP, the full shebang. And yeah.
Updating my health. Boop.
Chuckles seems slightly worse for wear, like he has a tummy ache.
Since he's incapable of feeding himself here, I'm feeding him like an incapable person.
That's how we describe Felix most of the time, yes. Okay, you feed him properly. He feels a little bit better, a little bit more refreshed, and thanks you for your kindness.
Here comes the airplane.
What's an
Ooh.
airplane? Is that what they
What's
teach
an
you in the
airplane,
Book of
man?
Man?
Yeah, got like he's read a kid's book or something at some point. Saying that must be how they eat.
The choo-choo train. Felix has been reduced to a puppy.
Mhm.
No, he's been
Good dog.
enlarged to a puppy. He's upgraded.
Oh, oh, okay.
Ugh.
All right. I mean, so we break camp.
I put my armor back on. Make sure
Mhm.
all
Good.
that. The snoot is still covered.
Yeah, we cover the snoots.
Protection from pollen.
As we break camp and get
Mhm.
back on the trail, I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
Very good.
Sounds good. I want to go take a quick gander at the bush that was wiggling during my
Okay.
watch, just to see if there was anything of interest, like tracks or something.
As you head over there,
Um,
you notice that there's a small bit of food in front of the bush. Like someone dropped something.
Yay, food. Is there anything else around the food?
Not really. It just appears to be like a single couple scrap and a half of like breaded rations.
So there's nothing behind the bush, no tracks or anything.
If you're looking for crash tracks, that'd be a survive check or something like that.
Okay. Doop. Hey,
Hey.
17.
17. So as you look sort of around the bush and behind the bush, you can see there appears to be a large number of flattened sort of tracks that seem to be sort of elongated. You can almost see like there almost seems to be a sim path where it's like from the widened stances of the tracks appear to be heading like pointed towards the bush, and you see as they just get around the bush, you see them sort of turn to the your left and proceed onward towards your left.
Does that seem to be going away from the northeast direction that we're headed,
A bit.
or the same direction?
Sort of look around. You try to see if you can find a swirly pattern because you're not really certain on which
Mhm.
direction you guys are necessarily heading at this point. You don't necessarily find one in the immediate vicinity. So
Okay,
it just appears to from the where the bush was, it appears like the tracks are sort of going towards the bush, enter just into the bush, and then turn towards your left if you're facing the bush.
I let the party know. I'm like, hey, I think I figured out. I think we had some rats. I think these are rat tracks. They went to the bush and then they moved on. So at least they didn't attack us during the rest.
That's fortunate.
Also, there's food here.
Oh, I
Right.
threw some food out for them in case they were hungry.
Ah. Okay. Well, they're heading that direction. Which way do we want to go?
Was that the direction of our great tree?
I can't say for sure.
I mean, we don't know where the tree is. They might know where
We
it
know
is.
the general
So maybe
direction.
we should go ask them. But not how far. We might have passed it already for all we know.
Here's a thought. Why doesn't someone climb a tree and look above the canopy to see if a great tree is noticeable?
It's not a terrible
Not a
idea.
bad idea, Piper. I said it first.
Did you?
So, what skill would we use to climb the tree? Could we use balance, or would that be more like traverse?
Yeah, I think
Depends
that's
how
true.
you want to climb the tree. Do you just want to sort of use your strength and grip to the trunk and sort of climb up? or you're going to use more of your balancy acrobatics to sort of like try to use your dexterity to climb branch from branch, swinging upwards.
I could try balance. I think I'm pretty proficient with that.
Okay, you can try balance.
All right. Let's
I'm
go
not much
look.
of a climber.
Hey,
Damn, I was really hoping for like the 2
climb
or
that
something.
tree like a. There's 2 twos.
Oh, then when you have double the fall damage. No. Okay, so you find a nearby tree sort of along the outskirts. You sort of look at it and try to find one that has like easy branches sort of to swing by. You get a good running start. You sort of jump onto one of the trunks, hop onto a branch, and sort of use the branches as like handholds to climb up the tree.
A ninja.
Some chipmunks would be jealous, but most would basically balk at your lame attempt to climb this tree.
Okay.
You get somewhat near the top where you can
Children's
sort of
trees.
oversee the tops of the trees a bit, and you sort of look out and you can sort of see where the sun is. The sun appears to be sort of behind your back, and if you look in front of you, sort of towards your front right, you can see there appears to be a singular tree that sort of stands a bit taller than the rest of them, and it seems to be a fair amount thicker, almost like it's 4 trees thickness combined.
Ooh.
Slightly off into the distance towards your right.
Well, I would say that's a pretty great tree. I looked down. Hey guys, I think I might have a good idea of what the tree might be. There's a big tree over to the right.
Sounds
A little
promising to
ways.
me.
All right, so I take note of that, and then I climb down.
What else could you see?
Lots of trees. And the sun. Well, I felt the sun. The sun's behind us.
You look at the sky and you can see that the sky appears to be a little bit of somewhat of an overcast. The normal blue sky appears to be slightly grayed.
It might rain. Might rain.
Poor Chuckles.
Today's
Good thing he
humidity.
isn't here.
Well, who knows? Maybe the tree will provide enough cover.
Watch out, you don't fall.
Alrighty. So I climb down.
Very good. As funny as it would be to have you roll and fall down the tree and take a bunch of damage and me laugh, we're going to say you come down the tree just fine.
I could also say I take 10 to climb down the tree.
Oh, then
for
you
however
definitely
much
fall
time
off.
you want.
There is no amount of time you can do to traverse difficult terrain successfully. There's sometimes even the more time you take, the more chances you have to slip, especially if it starts to rain.
Okay. All right, so I climb down the tree. Luckily, the DM's being nice and doesn't make me roll to fall down.
And you roll 2 2s to get up there.
Yes. Technically, it's 11 twos if we're wanting to do the math, but
No one said there'd be math.
anyway. So we now have a heading. So I guess we start walking in that direction.
Nistka.
Hopefully.
All right.
Stay on
Oh.
track.
Before we go, I would like to, next to where we had our campfire, I will make a crude version of that pioneer symbol.
Like in the dirt?
Yeah, just like in the dirt.
Okay.
Should we maybe make it with stones? That way, in case it does rain, it doesn't melt away.
Good idea, Nistka.
Just a thought.
Help me find some stones then. And then I guess we make it out of stones.
There are multiple amounts of like small pebbles, but there are very few like distinctive small rocks around.
Well, we take enough of those pebbles to make the spiral shape.
Okay. It makes a slight spiral shape. It appears because of how many small pebbles you actually needed in order to make this work. It took maybe about 500 to 1,000 tail wags, but you got it. to where it is a semi-spirally shape.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Now we move. Tup, 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 tup.
Mm-hmm.
Head out.
As you breach the clearing into the fearful forest, as you pass away from the sunlight into the dense darkness of the forest tops, you can feel the darkness ebb into your muscles again. Where once they were starting to feel a little bit loose, maybe slightly sore after the day of travel, you feel them tighten once again, and your stomach tighten, and you begin to notice a bit more the feeling of the fearful forest as it forces your adrenaline to sort of have at you as you traverse.
Why do I feel like we're entering the anime Into the Abyss, where the further we go down, the worse we're feeling? Oh, actually, I think that's coming out of the abyss, but whatever.
What's anime, Nistka?
Sorry. Out of game.
I'm kidding.
What's anime, Beta? So as you travel through, you feel your muscles keep tensing and untensing as you travel through. Nistka essentially takes up the lead to sort of, since she has the most memorization of where she saw the tree, and keeps heading in sort of that direction, every now and then searching for a small swirly to make sure she knows, okay, that way's north, head this way. After a couple thousand tail wags or so, you can start to sort of see as the forest undenses for a little bit, you see sort of what would be a semi-new clearing where there appears to be a very thick tree sort of standing alone, draining the nutrients that would allow other trees to sort of spawn. The sky still appears to be blackened, but there appears to be a wider open space around it. The roots of the trees sort of appear to come up in long, thick waves as it sort of travels around. What you could almost see is almost like some of these other trees just laying on their side, or the thickness of these roots.
I think we found it,
All right.
guys. Maybe.
As you look upon the tree, you can see there appears to be a pioneer symbol on the trunk of the tree facing towards the north.
Does it smell like it's been peed on?
You do take a whiff, feeling the highness of the forest and of itself, but also the tingent scent of urine from a dog.
I think this is the tree.
Good vintage. I say, year, blah, blah, blah. Probably a St. Bernard, yes. Oh, yes.
You are a sommelier of pee?
Like, you guys have probably had to have gone to the bathroom at some point between these days. Like, I just imagine after every time, like, any of you guys have peed, you just go up going with, like, not very good, low quality.
I
do prefer
someone needs to eat some more. Someone needs to eat some more vegetables, eh?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
With a fruity after splash back taste.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
I did my pinky in it and oof. Punch Tinder.
I'm starting to understand a little bit more how this is different from Dungeons and Dragons.
Not that you couldn't have a beef sommelier in Dungeons and Dragons, but it's more thematically apt here.
Makes a little more sense for puppies to do this.
I'll be honest, I've been DMing for a little over a decade, and this is the first time I've had a piece of...
All right, so I think we found the tree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so do we search around for, I guess, the entrance or look for tracks?
Yeah, we should do a general inspection. Yeah, both.
Okay.
So search checks all around?
I'm not gonna... I figure with 3 to 4 search checks, you guys will find it. Yeah, you search around the tree, you don't find anything, and you have to head home. Yeah, because that's the kind of story we're running. Yeah, so after the four of you start to search around the trees, sort of looking under the roots, trying to using some of the pea smell to find out where it's densest. Our connoisseur would happen to have a slight advantage over the rest of you peons. But as you sort of search around the trunk,
really,
you sort of, one of you spots sort of underneath one of the larger roots, there appears to be a sort of divot into the grass where you can sort of see an unnatural, like, stone along the inside of the divot. As whoever discovers it brushes their paw over a little bit of the grass, you can see what appears to be a small, carefully carved stairwell leading down underground.
How dusty and dirty do the steps appear to be?
Very dusty and dirty. There, even some of the stonework appears to be a bit rubbled along the center. It has gone through a heavy amount of decay and debris.
Seems like if someone had passed over them recently, there would be like obvious prints in the dust.
Correct. You don't seem to see anything that has disturbed the dust in any recent time from your analysis.
All right. Well, this seems like this is the path.
seems to be.
Certainly seems that way, yeah.
Okay. You guys heading down, and if so, marching order. The stairwell appears to be wide enough for about two puppies to be able to traverse without much difficulty.
I'll have my shield and my iron rod, and unless someone else is clamoring for it, I'll take point.
It's always
Well, I
good to
think-
shield your
I
iron
think
rod,
he's saying-
Cage.
I think
What?
he's mentioning that 2 people can be in the front and 2 people can be in the back if needed.
All
So,
right.
like, it-
Yeah, but I was volunteering.
Okay.
If you want to walk by my side, then you're welcome.
I would prefer to keep the rear, whichever other arrangement we decide upon.
Let's have
Chuckles really doesn't factor into this, by the way. He'll go wherever
Okay.
the spot is, and he's not going to actively defend or any whatever.
so then I would say maybe Chuckles goes with Dante, and then I will stand next to Jeef. That way we have 2
Okay.
active party members in the back should anything pop out and go boo.
Very
Okay.
good.
Works for me.
So as you traverse down the stairwell, it appears to be incredibly dark. Does anyone have a form of light source?
I have a hooded lantern.
Okay. If anyone can see in the dark, or I'm not sure if they have dark vision or light vision based on dog breeds or whatnot, but
Mm,
as you traverse, the
Sensitive,
underground
simple
appears to be quite not
things.
sunlit, even by the
Perspective
foliage of
ice
slight
trays.
tree branches.
I do not appear to have a light source. That is unfortunate.
You didn't
I
take
have
the
a hooded-
cantrip light? Who doesn't take the cantrip
It's not.
light?
It's not one you can pick. There's not like a
Oof.
set of cantrips you can choose from. There's 3 that you get, and none of them are light.
Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I could have
light-
picked it.
I light my hooded lantern.
Very
And
good.
that should give us some visibility.
Okay, so the person in the back has a light source.
I could hand it to the person in the front.
You are more than welcome to do so. I'm just stating something I'm noticing.
Can we give Chuckles the light? Is that cheating?
No, that is not cheating. He can hold the light source. He can be somewhat useful.
There we go. Chuckles now has a hooded
Yeah.
lantern.
Chuckles now has a hood. And to be fair, if I actually look through his inventory, he might have one too, but I don't know.
I have light armor. Ah.
No.
Shine like the star you are, Keith.
It looks like light is a first level shepherd spell, so it's not basic and it does
Ooh.
cost a slot.
I guess they recognize that enough of the races in this type of game don't have dark vision, to where light is actually useful.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Imagine that.
Well, we're
Who
not
does-
cats, so
That could be our next game. The Mao Monastery. Keep calling it monastery instead of monarchy. I gotta correct my verbiage on that. Anyway, you traverse with Chuckles lighting the way. Step by step, you carefully traverse down the stairwell. The stones along the that are chiseled on the outside appear to be, when they seem to be somewhat intact, they have a very smooth feel to them, almost like they were carved by master artisans.
fancy.
Okay. The colors appear to be of a lightish orange with black speckles. As you get down towards the base of the stairwell where the floor appears to level out, the floor feels very cold to the touch of your paws. The stone appears to reflect almost a bit of your light, not necessarily as much as a mirror, but it seems to not hit the stone and stop. It seems to light up a little bit as the light touches the stonework. You take a look around in the opening room, and you can sort of see there appears to be a bit of rubble on your right and left hand side, as well as a large what appears to be like a metal gate, but the gate appears to just be almost in the shape of a table. It's it's a door entrance, but there appears to be a metal bar coming out from the floor, and then appears almost like a shipwright's wheel is attached on this vertical metal bar, and that metal bar is sort of blocking the gate entrance.
Okay.
Within this
Could we trouble you to repeat that? Because that was a little complicated.
Certainly. So
you said we come down the
So
stairs.
you come down the stairs. There appears to be sort of an opening, somewhat rectangular room. Along the left-hand side, more than the right-hand side, there appears to be a heavy amount of rubble. The stonework almost seems to be a bit more natural on the left-hand side instead of the sculpted. In front of you, by where the walls come together, there appears to be, on the wall in front of you, appears to be a sort of gate, like a metal barred gate, like a prison cell sort of style of wall. And in the center, where there is a door frame, the door frame appears to be blocked by a metal pole coming from the ground up about to chest height, and it stops where there appears to be a small metal bar that's going horizontally, but not touching the edges of the door frame.
So we can see through it because it's like a metal bars, like a prison cell.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the corridor continues beyond it.
Correct. Seeing if I can pull up a picture to help.
Yep, that might be help. Yep.
Something like that.
And where are we looking?
Pugmire Discord.
In the Discord? Yeah. Oh, like this. I see.
Yep, except instead of a bunch of different small bars, it sort of just has the top half is basically broken off, where it only comes up about halfway.
But it blocks passage, yes?
It appears to. Well, I assume you guys are just at the base of the stairwell.
Yeah. But if the top half is missing, how can we not just vault over? That's the part that confuses me here then.
You can do what you will. It appears like you could just vault over.
Okay. Well, that looks odd. I have never seen such a contraption. Well,
I think this would work. As you shine the light sort of beyond the bars, you can see what appears to be a larger open-esque area. There appears to be like a small entryway sort of past the front of you, but to your left and right, the room appears to really open up beyond this metal gate.
Oh, it's not like dynamic lighting, I see. Okay.
Correct. So you're attempting to vault?
And if you look at... If we move around, like over here, that would be my first instinct to go over here and look down this path. Is that just what the room looks like, or is it going to open up from here?
That's essentially what the room relatively looks like from if you're standing behind the metal gates.
Now, where is this metal half gate thing you're talking about? Where in the room?
So, basically...
Oh, we had to cross over to enter the room. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, let's see if I can reveal...
Only one way forward. But maybe I give Piper a leg up here before we move on. Do you want some help, Piper?
I thank you, lad.
Over this thing. Ah. So, yep. I attempt to lift Piper to the top of the bars.
Okay, what is your strength score?
Where possible. 10.
Okay.
Oh, 12.
Oh, that's slightly better. Okay, so you attempt to lift Piper up, but Piper being a full, even the lightest without any armor on, appears to be fairly heavy. As you strain your muscles, sort of get him over, he sort of grabs onto the bars and pulls himself across. As he grabs onto the bars and vaults, and you with the assisted vault over, he pulls on one of the bars and the bar spins and hits you in the shin. No damage is done, but it's basically, you can see now that these bars spin, even if they spin a bit rusted. The sound of the bars moving along the metal makes this large grating sound of that sort of echoes and reverberates throughout the very open ceilinged room. Or high ceilinged room, I should, maybe is a better term.
Okay, I see. So if it's like a revolving door, could we just... maybe we can just push it open, I say, and then just give it a push?
Yeah. So from your standing, you give a small push, and the bars appear to move with your command. As you push them, and they appear to move you, and you feel like a piece of metal touch your butt as it pushes you along, and you hear a click sound as it sort of comes into a stopping point with you on the other side.
It was that easy.
So we're both on the other side. Okay.
Yeah. And this is an exploration sort of map mode, so basically consider each square roughly 10 feet. This is not a battle map in sense of... So the room appears to be fairly quite large. Chuckles basically as the light source, so he's basically following the group, as it were. If the group splits up, we would have to create a second light source, but... Nistka, are you muted, or what are you up to?
I am more so... I'm sorry, I got a little distracted because I had a message from my dad, so I was just making sure everything's good there.
Oh, that's fair. Just want to make sure that you're involved.
Yeah. So we're climbing over the bars, not going through them?
We could just go through. You just push, and it's a revolving door kind of thing.
Well, it worked once.
I guess I will try to push through the door.
Okay. As she pushes there, the revolving door sort of smacks around, and she pushes Chuckles back behind it. As the bars...
Oh, I see what we need to do. Okay, so I need to move here, and then Chuckles try to go through
Thanks,
the door.
Jowafa.
Sounds about right.
Yep. Puzzle solved.
Okay, within the room to your left and to your right, you can see what appears to be large laminated walls, similar to the walls that were from the that were on the stairs. In front of you appears to be like a small opening where there appears to be what appears to be like a tall table, almost. Let's see if I can reveal just a slight bit more. Sorry, I am going to be slow on the reveals.
No worries. Okay.
There you can see what appears to be like a tall table, like it almost comes to like chest or chin height, depending on who you are. The other sides appear to be fairly symmetrical. There still appears to be plenty of rubble just sort of scattered around, but a lot of it appears to be mostly intact. Like the walls are shiny and make a large echo sound as your paws and boots traverse it. You can hear the sound of like a small dripping sound coming from your left-hand side. The air smells very damp and dirty down here. Even you don't get the smell of the hallucinogenics necessarily from the upstairs. You don't feel the ebb of the fearful forest deep within you as you feel protected by the constructs of man that are pervasive throughout this area. But you feel a bit of unease within how much darkness is around and how the light seems to have the shadows skitter across the walls as the light sort of moves around.
This looks like it's an
All right.
entryway here, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know if we could walk in between there.
Remember, each square is roughly 10 feet wide.
Oh, okay.
It's a 10-foot diameter, each square.
So that means this thing right here is 5 feet.
Yeah,
Is that like an opening?
essentially the entryway that you're like referring to, like here. Oh, sorry, that's the reveal thing. That's not the. I have to switch tools. Doop. So that's sort of there. That appears to be basically about like 8 to 10 feet wide, maybe. It just appears to be off center from the squares because life doesn't always fit in a square, Becca.
Understand? It's fine. Plus,
What?
I'm not the one holding the lantern. Chuckles is.
So essentially, just
so-
direct where you guys
The
go.
dungeon
Chuckles.
builders.
Those these damn dungeon builders.
Everyone knows that everything everything is 5 feet apart or nothing else. Or no deal.
This entrance is between a 5-foot
how
square.
it
How
goes.
can you tell? Because if I measure this out in 5 feet increments, this is in the center, and you can't make the center between 20 squares. You have to have a center between 21 squares. And he begins to start crying.
All right, so which way do we want to go? Do we want to enter through the center thing? Do we want to go to the left or the right? What do? Also, does it look like there's anything?
check out that table.
interesting? Oh,
Okay.
not the table.
So,
Mhm.
assuming you guys follow and Chuckles continues to light up
Mm-hmm.
the blah blahs. You reveal here the room. Okay, you enter into a room and you see on this large table there appears to be almost like there's no center to this table. It just appears to be a table that's sort of like a large bar that goes around in a circle. In the center you can see what appears to be a large amount of rubble, and it's almost completely filled in. But it's almost like this is like an ancient man campfire, but it appears to almost be like 10 feet by 10 feet, like the men were just so much bigger than you even imagined. Behind the large
Oh. Can we deduce that this is constructed by man? I mean, maybe that's obvious, but
there is no dog
I wasn't
technology or even Mao monarchy technology that could recreate something so brilliant.
so Dante is like completely fascinated and like touches everything. Oh, with a reverence.
So as was described
Made by man.
by Granny Sue, these sort of architectural anomalies are scattered throughout like the fair forest in the world, and they refer to these as sacred sites that are still have the preservation of man without nature having taken things back. Behind the large filled-ish table that appears straight, almost like a tall campfire pit. You can see what appears to be rows of like stonework benches, majestically carved to have like these little curves at the base where the tail would go, and little openings, knowing that man had always had a seat for his best friend to have a tail wag between. And the far back wall, you can faintly see what appears to be a large metal door with the archaic sign upon it in the ancient script of man.
Oh. Let's check it out. Look, guys, what I found. And then I just rush in, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dante, oh god, he's super excited.
Tail going like at least 10 wags per wag.
Okay.
Time has gone 10 times as fast. Okay. You head over towards the
Super
metal
excited.
door.
Little tip for everyone: if you want your characters to go like I'm doing here between lines, you hold Alt while moving your thing. Then it won't obey grids.
Very cool.
Grids are for suckers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Review because I can't tell if you guys can see this or not.
I'm at the edge of our vision currently.
Okay.
I can see
Oh,
that
there's
door
something.
now.
Okay.
I couldn't tell because I can just see them slightly shaded, and I couldn't tell if the shade was in reveal or not reveal. Okay. So there's a small metal door in the back right hand side of the room. And the archaic sign appears to be in the ancient language of man, which has never been fully deciphered by dog. As you sort of the door appears to be of a grayish color, where there appears to have a handle on it in similar to some fashions that you've seen in books, where it comes out like a small metal and then has like a 90-degree turn sort of door handle. You sort of push on the door and the door does not seem to budge. You grab on this little handle and you pull a bit and it just doesn't seem to move.
This must be some highly technological kind of barrier that man constructed.
So a door or a wall?
A door for sure.
Does it look like there's any keyholes or anything like that?
There does. So on one of the edges of the metal on the door handle, there appears to be a small little hole that is shaped jaggedly. Almost like you have to fit an ancient artifact with inside before it grants entry.
So, question for the party. Do we want to go hunt for this artifact? Or do we want to see if I might be able to open the door? I do have some tools that might be helpful. But if we're worried about it, breaking it, I'm all for going hunting for the key. If there is a key.
I mean, you shouldn't break it, but if you can open it without breaking it, then go for it, I guess.
It's a gamble. Like, I do have training with these tools, but if you don't want me to risk it, I will not risk it. But I do have tools to help get into doors or other locked things. So
I think it might be prudent to search for a key first, just to avoid the risk of damaging the lock and making the key pointless.
that's why I thought I would offer.
Okay.
All right. So then that means we have to go either to the left or the right.
I do think we should search this little room here, like in that table with the hollow middle. We might want to like go through the rubble or something just to see if there's something buried here. Leave no stone unturned.
Seems good.
So that would take roughly however much time you want to, but it'd be a search roll.
Ooh, does Pugmire have similar rule sets as D&D where you could, like 5e, where you could assist someone in searching?
I believe so, but I will double check.
Yeah.
I
So I
read
consider
something
the
to
idea
that
for
effect
this, I
at
wouldn't
some
have
point.
everybody roll. I'd say if you all are going to be basically help with the searching, basically what would happen is it would work like the help action, which I'm not sure if it grants advantage or if it just adds like a D4 or something.
In 5e, it grants advantage. I am looking for it here.
Okay, I would keep that rule synonymous as I understand it. So feel free to roll another D20 or another search check, I guess, and just take the higher of the two results.
You got this. Do 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 do.
Okay.
Do 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 do.
18. As you look amongst the rubble within the giant fire pit table within the center of this room, you sort of dig deep in. You can, as you're searching through, you can see past some of the dirt and the rubble as you pull it out. There appear to be a large number of like chunks of plastic, like raw, like just harvestable chunks. Not like the little plastic pieces. This is like the raw shit.
Plastic ingots.
That's worth money. Or currency, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So similar to how in D&D, when you
definitely
find gems, essentially when you find large chunks of plastic. Oh, Beta. Did something happen to Beta?
Yeah, it's so I just got a notice from the website. Apparently something's off with my connection to Roll20. They're not sure if it's a server related issue. So it told me to try to refresh the page. So we're going to try that first.
Okay, well, at least you still can hear me in Discord. So until you guys
Yeah.
move, I can still go. Essentially, you find basically three plastic chunks worth approximately 25 plastic pieces each.
Ooh,
All right.
I'm going to write that
Oh, so
down
80.
so I don't forget.
75.
Are you going to do some party inventory then, Beta? Do you want to be...
Sure. I can write all the thingies down. Give me just a second.
I mean, we haven't really talked about that, but that's how I like to do it. Just have one person write down the loot and then we can split it later instead of arguing every time we find something.
It is a very good way to do it.
I think Jowafa should do it.
More work for the GM. Why don't you say so?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you just tell us what happens to Wafa and then we can be over with the adventure?
So
Story mode. No.
It was 25 per person that was searching, and it was just the three of us searching.
Not 25 per person. You found three large chunks
Oh, three
of plastic that's worth approximately 25 plastic pieces each.
chunks.
Yeah.
And you would know from your pioneer sort of like basic training of with plastic pieces, and when you harvest them, there are like certain traders throughout like different cities that you can turn them into, and they'll give you the appropriate plastic pieces, and then those merchants sort of take them to the manufacturing sites for different things, either to convert them into plastic pieces of their own or use them as the church or the government sees fit.
Uncut plastic. Do people make jewelry out of plastic?
Some do.
Okay. So it functions a lot like gold or other valuable material would be. Okay.
Yep.
This is herky.
It's mostly, although it is sometimes in common jewelry within some of the nobility, you see it a lot more within the churches, where they hold a special connection with it to man.
Fair enough.
As I understood it, the reason why it's so valuable is because the seas have been polluted to the point where they're basically like acid, but you can make ships out of plastic and then sail the acid seas, and that is very, very valuable. So that's why plastic is the primary resource.
I guess it does force this new society to recycle all the plastic that man has left behind.
If only man had been smart enough to do that themselves.
I know, right?
Mhm.
But wait, we shouldn't say that. That's blasphemous, you know.
Just a little.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
True. Off game.
Who are you so high as to judge man through a dog's eyes?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Just because one
I'm still
holds the ball does not mean the one can throw.
Yeah. Let me pause this. I'm wondering. Let's try. Still trying to get this thing to run the way it's supposed to. 1 second.
Yep.
Come on. Come on,
Yeah,
roll
but
20.
if we are confident that we've cleared out this room, then we should go and check out the sides.
Okay, that's better. All right. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, this is looking promising.
And
Oh,
also
so
just
much
sort of
better.
open beta. Yay, I see a beta's
There I
face.
am. I'm in.
Mm-hmm. There she is.
Welcome back.
All right. I did it. All right, where we go? What we doing? There.
Follow the Pied Piper.
Unless we have a reason to choose one side or the other, I usually default to left.
Oh, okay.
Something weird's going on here.
I always go right.
Oh, that'll do it.
Something has been revealed to us.
Why? Why does it keep doing this? Okay, come on.
Okay. As
There
you
we
sort
go.
of pass along towards your right hand side, though the map's orientation to the left hand side, you can see what appears to be another one of these like large tables, but the center sort of milled out. There appears to be a little bit of rubble, but not as much. It almost appears to just be more rubble on the front of the table. Then the back wall, you can see another one of those fancy metal doors.
Similar keyhole.
You do not spot a keyhole on this door handle from where you're standing.
Give it a push.
How about now?
Sorry, I'm also being weird about it. Chuckles, shine the light over there. It sort of shines the light towards the handle, and you can see the handle actually appears to be like not firmly attached to the door. It almost appears to be hanging loosely off the frame of the door.
Interesting.
You do see that you can't see the full bottom of the door. It appears to be like almost like a foot covered in dirt and debris.
Now, how about the rest of this room behind us? Can we see that with the light in here?
Yeah, so with Chuckles being there, he sort of looks behind and I think that should reveal that. You can see what appears to be an elongated hallway, with looks like there might be a door on the left-hand side. You're unable to see fully down the hallway just due to how long and dark it is.
Interesting.
Does anything appear to like stick out? Like, is there any piles of dirt that could be dug through, or other rubble?
Nothing in particular. There appears to be every now and then the broken piece of the majestic man's walls as it are laid in blocks. You can see a little bit of the natural carvings behind, but there doesn't appear to be any sort of pile to dig through or necessarily or any clumpage.
Clumpage, okay.
But you said that there was one up here, right?
Correct.
Like a rubble pile?
Correct. It sort of seems to have built up behind this little half table.
Yeah. Maybe someone else is better at searching than Dante, so maybe they should be the one rolling with advantage. But of course, Dante is helping as best he can. Put in other words, I have no bonus to search.
Oh, neither do I. Wait, I'm proficient in it, but I only have that +2 from proficiency.
Yeah, well, that's two more than I do, so go for it.
I only have survive, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Piper, you are the designated searcher. Oh,
Okay.
So it's
With
20 total on
advantage.
that one. Yep, that's why I rolled 2.
Nice.
Ah, you did, yeah.
20. Okay. Within this pile, as you sort of pull some of the dust out, and you spend a little bit of time sort of rummaging through, clearing some of the path out. You find 1, 2, 3, 5 large chunks of just condensed plastic and like weird plastic, almost like metallic plastic. They appear to be very heavily, very well defined, even if they're slightly busted.
5
You
large
imagine
chunks.
each of these chunks would probably be worth 100 plastic pieces each at minimum.
And I found 5.
Mm-hmm.
How?
In addition, when you sort of cleared some of the debris along the path, you can see that just below, like this half table, just below, like on the underside, there appear to be like metal boxes that have like small little plastic handles.
How many are there?
There's 5 of them. All of which, next to the little handle, appears to have a small metal circle that has like a similar jaggedy hole, similar to the hole you saw on the one door.
Would those be like considered the keys? Wait, or maybe I'm misunderstanding.
No, they are boxes with keyholes.
Boxes with keyholes. Okay. 5 metal
Yeah,
boxes.
like little lunch boxes or whatever,
with
They're
but with keyholes.
like cubby drawers underneath the table, I think I heard.
I think Jeef has a better description of what I was describing.
Oh, they are stuck to the table.
Correct.
Is
The
that
other
right?
side, yeah. Yes.
Ah, so then drawers, yeah. Okay.
Or they're man-made lockers.
But with enough of this debris cleared away, you were able to easily wipe away a path to where the door now is no longer covered from a foot on the bottom to being blocked by dust and debris.
So we could attempt to open it. If we
And of
chose.
course, we pull on all the little boxes, the drawers, just to see if any of them are not locked, of course.
Are you doing so, or are you telling Piper to do so?
I mean, if he isn't doing it, then I'm doing it.
Okay.
Just so excited.
On 4 of the drawers, you sort of pull, they appear to be locked. The drawer in just to the right of the center one, you pull on it, and you pull in just a way to where you feel the metal unclasp from whatever it's holding to, and you pull the entire drawer out. You see the metal sort of rip along the side as you do so. But inside, you can find a large number of pieces of paper that appear to be like strangely like well preserved. This paper appears to have a large number of pictures on them, and some of them have some writing on them of the words of man.
Sacred texts of man.
Each piece of paper appears to be
I'll start
maybe
rifling
about
for him.
a paw width wide, while 2 paws long. In addition, within this small box, you can see what appeared to be a small little plastic case, well preserved. It has a little like jut out on the right hand side. It appears to fit in the palm of your hand almost.
Okay. Are we picking these things up? So I see we have 3 chunks of plastic that are 25 plastic pieces each. I assumed we picked up the 5 large chunks of metallic plastic, which are 100 plastic pieces each. And then the 5 metal boxes we can't pick up. Those are just there. And we now see 5 pieces of paper or sacred text.
No, this
Are
isn't
we
5
taking
pieces
the
of paper. I don't know where you got the 5 from. This is like a a few kilograms of paper.
Oh, I thought you said there were like 5 sheets of paper.
No, the tons of small rectangular pieces of paper with pictures and writings on them.
Okay. Lots of
And
sacred
name
text.
tags, I think, or similar.
Lots
like
of
that.
pieces of paper. Lots of sacred text, and then 1 small plastic case.
Yeah. It appears to be a small plastic case. It actually feels quite smooth to your palm's touch.
All right, and is it possible to open this thing?
Rolling would be a knowledge spirituality, maybe? Knowledge of
We
man,
actually might
whatever that
have
would
that.
most likely be.
I'm assuming that one would be the knowledge of man, if anything.
There is a
There's a
skill called no
knowledge culture.
spirituality. There is a no spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
one.
think spirituality, just because of how man
No.
is, might be spirituality. I don't think it would be culture, because that's current culture.
Or there's religion.
Oh, religion, that would also work.
So,
Oh, is that a different thing?
yeah,
on the
there's
right-hand
so
side,
like right
there's
across.
there's more skills.
I see. Yeah.
You have a better knowledge of religion than you do of spirituality?
Nope.
Okay. You're a good priest. So you look upon the box and you sort of, not wanting to break it and bust it open, you try to think of a knowledge that men used to have tricks of trying to open these types of things. And you know you've at least read something on it, but this is just, it's not able to come to you at this moment. With the limited amount of light that Chuckles has from the flash, you're just not really seeing a good way to open it.
Look, Piper, I found this box. Surely it contains more secrets from man.
It's not outside the realm of possibility for sure. Does it appear to be locked?
It appears to have like
I can't open it.
Oh yeah. Like it does appear to be like two pieces of plastic with like a seam along it. Almost like a mini door. But there is no keyhole.
Is there a seam on both sides?
I hand it to Piper.
Correct. There's a
hand it to
seam on
Piper.
both sides. The seam appears to close up a little bit on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, there appears to be like this little square plastic jut that just juts out for no apparent reason.
Does the jut appear to be contiguous with the rest of the plastic, like it's one solid piece, or is it slightly separate?
It's almost appears to be like attached to the bigger pieces of like the plastics. Like somehow might be like part of the riddle of how man opened up these things.
I'm going to try depressing the jut with my thumb.
The use of thumbs, man's greatest strength. As you press on upon the jut, you feel a small clicking you feel almost the plastic breaking under you. But as you see, all it did was push some of the plastic together, allowing it to open slightly upon this weird plastic hinge that's on the back. The plastic does appear to be intact afterwards, but the click sound did disturb you. As you look inside and Chuckles sort of flashes a little bit of light down, you see what appears to be a gray sort of velvety back on the where your palm is on the plastic. The top half of the plastic sort of came open, appears to just be an empty plastic shell. On the gray velvet appears to be a syringe. It appears to be filled with this strange grayish brown liquid.
Interesting.
The syringe itself appears to be made fully of plastic. But some of this plastic appears to be opaque, some of it appears to be transparent to allow the ability to see the liquid.
I don't have the slightest idea of how to identify this, but it appears to be an artifact of man.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Sorry, I should just keep one of your characters.
Well done,
so I have
Piper.
enough time to know the skills. Okay. I would say to identify this type of stuff that you've seen some of your own doctors have some similar type of tools, but you've never really been knowledgeable of them, where I would say it would require a heal check, but it would be use intelligence instead of wisdom. So knowledge of healing.
I'm not trained in heal, so.
Yeah.
Not either.
No one knows how to heal. Such bad dogs.
We just can't stop, and we won't stop.
Don't stop till you get and Chuckles is not trained in it either.
So we're not proficient in it.
Oh, well,
Possibly somebody from that's higher level in the church might be able to identify it, or someone within a medical facility.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll probably reclose the case and put it in a bag for safe storage.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right, let's try the door.
Just be curious, this door? Or
Mhm.
That is certainly an option.
The top one.
that one?
The top
Up
one?
here.
Okay.
Okay.
As you
Yeah.
go towards the door, you sort of push on it. It doesn't really move. You sort of grab onto the loose handle and you pull on the door. Just immediately sort of like just starts slightly pushing open. Due to the limited amount of space and with a little bit the rubble that's still there, it can only open about a halfway open. So it creates a single file line for entering.
Hmm.
Doing some reveals. Inside, you can see what appears to be a heavy amount of rubble, but a large number of like wooden and plastic boxes, as well as a large half-broken desk in the back. It's not as fancy as Oscar Doxson's desk, but it still appears to be of a nice wood quality within the back. You can see large piles of rubble just along the wall in between like these small pieces of furniture. Yeah.
All right. Let's search.
Okay. Any specific spot? There appears to be a large wooden desk in the back, some filing cabinets on the left, as well as a broken side desk on the right-hand side.
I guess I would start with whatever's closest to the door.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I will roll those.
We assume Chuckles goes in there to provide light source, or does this room have a natural light source?
Yes,
No,
I would
this
hope he
room
would at
does
least
not have
stand
a
by the
natural-
door.
So he's standing by the door. Where are you, Nistka?
I guess I will. I don't know. I'll guard Chuckles since
Okay,
it's one way in. Doesn't seem like a way out.
Okay, so Chuckles, you roll a 12 to search through the broken desk. The desk appears to be mostly deteriorated, as well as not very well intact. You can see a few wood supports of what would have been probably a nice wooden desk, but a lot of it's been eaten through. Along the top of the desk, you can feel what appears to be like a large amount of webbing and dust and dirt. And it feels very... It almost feels like the webbing appears to be moist under your paw. You don't necessarily see something of value or of a man-made, but it does feel quite a bit dirty. And Beta. Sorry, Nistka. I gotta get my things right. Just down the hall, you can see what appears... You can hear a bit of skittering and scattering behind you.
Guys, I don't think we're alone.
Those of you within the small room that are searching the room currently, you see the light source sort of vanish for just a moment. As he turns the light back towards the hallway, and Nistka, you can see what appears to be large arachnids,
Oh, great.
sort of approaching your guys' general direction.
So time for
Fun.
initiative.
Time for initiative. Dun, 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 dun.
Blindsiding us by telling us that this is not a battle map and then having a battle on it. Sneaky dungeon master.
Oh, too many spiders.
Mhm.
That is too many.
Remember, each foot is 10 feet.
I know.
So are they 10 by 10 spiders or are they
No,
5
they're
by
5 by
5?
5, same as you fill a full square, they fill a full square, because life isn't always nice.
Are you telling me I'm fat?
I'm telling you, you could lose a couple chunks.
Too many biscuits.
Any biscuits. Okay. So,
Okay.
we're in everybody's initiative
Two.
now.
The two.
Yeah, I start.
Guys always decide ties, so usually it means you guys go before they do. Okay, I believe that is the correct order. Ta-da! So Nistka, you are first to see these terrible giant creatures approaching.
Mm.
They appear to have glowing grayish eyes, as well as a grayish pattern on their backs.
That sounds like the liquid we found. 1 second, I'm checking some things real quick. No, okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, I have second wind. That's nice. Okay.
A rogue with second wind? That sounds weird.
Yeah, it's one of the special things you can take for a rogue, which is interesting. Okay. I guess.
Oh, that's gonna throw things off.
Dun, 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 dun. Currently, Dante and Chuckles are blind.
You mean Dante and Piper? Or
Correct. My bad.
Yeah, okay.
It's weird because your name is below your character and everyone else's is above. So I just looked below the other picture and saw Chuckles.
All right, I'm gonna
really?
attack.
I can't see any other names in my own.
I'm attacking this spider with a short bow.
I'm just gonna wait.
Or maybe I'll do this. Maybe we'll just do dagger. Hey.
Just to show you what I see. Not anything important, but I see all your names and I see your name below your picture. I see Piper's name above this picture, but since I saw your name, I looked right below Piper's picture and I was like, Chuckles. So, might be. Anyway, Nistka did stuff. I need to pay attention to what's happening in the battle.
Yep,
A 24
I
to
moved.
hit? Only 5 damage? Or, oh yeah, you don't have sneak attack. Like
Not at
that,
this point, no.
So 5 damage. Pull up my Word document. Okay, which one is this one? Tell me. Oh yeah, if I go over the initiative, okay. That's Spider 2. Okay. I swear I'm prepared, guys.
It's all good.
Okay, so Nistka sort of just rushes over between Chuckles and and Spider 2 and rushes over with her dagger and slashes at the spider's face, blinding one of its eyes. You hear now, those of you that just all of a sudden lost your light source and are sure like, everything okay, guys? You suddenly hear, as you just hear a large, weird, monstrous thing sound from a thing that has very underdeveloped vocal cords.
Help!
They have not received the gifts of man. Unholy creatures.
And since Chuckles does not have initiative, he's just going to move out of the way and be a good light source.
Okay.
I didn't even put him on the initiative order, so.
You had one job.
I have a lot of jobs.
He's at least protecting me from, from dangerous stuff.
One of the spiders rushes over to Nistka and proceeds to jump onto her and attempt to bite her with its large mandibles. Your AC, remind me?
13.
Okay. With its large mandibles, it tries to bite down, but you quickly, after using your dagger to slash, you sort of push your dagger and parry the mandibles downward, causing the mandibles to dig into the freshly pile of dirt that you guys have scrubbed out of the desk. The spider appears to be quite distressed and angry. Dante, you're in the dark. You hear fighting coming from outside the door. You can barely see in front of your face. You see some light shimmering.
And we get to act in this turn?
Pardon?
Can he just head
We
out?
get to act in this turn?
Correct. You get to act.
I mean, we might be surprised.
I'm deciding you are not surprised.
All right.
As you exit the door, you can see what appears to be 3 large, giant spiders. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does someone have a phobia?
Negative.
No spiders.
Who has arachnophobia? If it's
Was
Chuckles,
it Felix? I think it might be.
I thought he was hydrophobic. Is he also arachnophobic?
Keen observer, addiction, nope. So it's not him. Definitely not Piper. He does weak grip.
I don't have any phobias written down, I don't think.
Constitution. Because you took 2 negatives. One was howling at the moon. I swore the other one was arachnophobia.
Oh? I don't recall that, but you might be right.
Pugmire.
Did I take 2? I don't remember how I even got howling at the moon as a thing.
Yeah, that's part of one of your stuff is howling.
If I did, I have not written it down, and that's my bad, obviously. But I don't recall getting it. But I do recall that arachnophobia was.
Correctly.
Okay.
Scrolling up through all the pictures. Keed, you got Howl at Full Moon, and you got phobia, spiders.
Oh, really?
I wonder if I can pin this.
That is my bad for not writing it.
Did I miss anything? I don't think I got a phobia.
I do not have.
Well then.
I believe I said writing, and that's from. I actually think, Becca, you only rerolled once, and you rerolled a good stat, so that way you could get an extra thing. I don't think you took any bad habits.
Okay.
And I know that Jeef got a bad grip.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
So that means I run out of the room here, and then I am encountered by a vision of 3 giant spiders, which means I'm probably not rushing in. How does that work mechanically? Is there any forced stuff that I have to do?
I think you would probably make a will save against fear. With failure meaning that you're frightened and can't
Phobia
approach.
spiders, which is also available in our chat if you scroll up just above the pictures of the tennis balls. But here it is. So long as... Actually, I can just recopy and paste this to you.
I found it here. Okay. You may willingly... Must spend either their movement or their action... Oh, that's howling at the moon. Never mind. Frightened status...
What chat is this in?
I directly every
chat.
person I copied and pasted their like phobias or their bad habits to them.
Oh,
20. You are currently not afraid, even with the additional spiders. So you see your fear. You like from the webbing that Piper was talking about. You sort of had a feeling this might happen. You braced yourself mentally for it. And you went out and you saw the spiders desecrating the visage of man that man so carefully created, and you overcome your fear.
Oh, Keej, go.
The first
I mean,
person to
those are
overcome
great.
your fear this entire campaign after all the water shit.
How dare you defile the sanctum of man with your presence? Vile
Okay,
things.
attack of opportunity. Oh wait, these are all 10-foot squares. I'll put them
Yes.
for now.
Oh yeah.
I imagine you wouldn't just run up next
I
to
was
like,
also just
this spider and then leave its attack range.
so and
So you guys get benefits from me having this weird
let's
battle
see.
map.
And then I will mash it or squish it with my iron rod, which is not a euphemism.
Sure, it isn't key.
Yeah, that's a 19.
Did you ever see
Everything is a
Dr.
euphemism.
Horrible's sing-along blog?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Of course.
When hammer meets nail.
Is that the one? I don't get that reference. I mean, I know
Have
Dr.
you ever
Horrible
seen?
times, but how you drew
So-
the
The hammer is his penis.
Yeah.
oh, of course, okay, yeah, but it's not a hammer; it's an iron rod. Whatever.
Yeah,
I smash it.
You do some smashing on a giant spider as you thwack its large mandibly head, and you see it sort of gray blood just sort of ooze out of it as it takes its 4 damage.
And then I say, Nistka, man protects. And I cast Shield of Faith on her
Aw, thank you.
because it has a range of 60 feet.
Huzzah.
So you
So
have
what is-
you have 2 extra defense.
Yes. I have a 15. Nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right. So I think it's back to spider.
Okay. You just keep you on the outskirts range.
Okay, wait. No. No.
And then can't move farther than that. So it rushes over to Nistka on the other side, not fully flanking, but Niska's feeling quite a bit surrounded as the spiders begin to gnaw at the little Shibu Inu.
And this is why you got the shield.
14 to hit.
You miss because I have a +2, so 15.
Just barely as the mandibles start to
By the
close
power of
down.
man.
And through and as though in her blind side, the mandibles are about to close along her side. The shield quickly moves over towards and blocks out the spider's face,
Phew.
stopping it in its tracks. Now just the spider that she ran up and thwacked. It turns around to show you its giant booty. And it points its booty at you. You see large amounts of silk shoot out towards your face. 17 to hit.
Mm.
Do I get a dexterity saving throw to not get stuck?
Nope, this is an attack roll to see if it aims.
Well,
So it shoots its
definitely hit.
It shoots its web covering your torso and this very sticky web, making it very difficult for you to maneuver. You're currently under the restraint effect. At the end of each of your turns, you can make a DC 11 strength check, or someone else can make the check on their turn to remove the webbing that's covering your torso.
Okay, so I just can't move from this spot, but
You
I
can-
could still swing.
I think restrained gives you disadvantage on attack rolls,
Correct.
but that's a 5e thing, so I'd have to double check here.
Rude. Would it be disadvantage for melee attacks, or would it be disadvantage for all attacks?
Restrained. A restrained creature's speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. And they have disadvantage
Okay,
on
so all
dexterity
attacks.
saving throws.
Of course. Okay. So, all right. I am a little sticky.
Piper.
I don't like this.
Yes.
The first
guy,
attack
stop
that hits
goofing
and it
around.
just sprays you.
This is not goofing around.
If these were 5-foot squares, I would know exactly what I would
What
do.
part of
if
this
they're
looks
not.
like it's fun?
Is this door open? Like propped open?
Basically, it fell off its hinges.
Okay. Then I will cast a elemental ray at this one here. Oh, I'm on the wrong tool. I'm gonna
I know the feel.
cast it on this one here,
Okay.
and a 19 to hit. Oh wait, no, that's I pressed the button and it didn't do anything. Give me a minute.
I was supposed to say the 19 was Dante's. At least that's the only roll I see. There it is.
16 to
16.
hit for 5 cold damage.
Okay. Your blast hits. As the cold begins to cause the spider's legs to shiver, it appears to be highly uncomfortable, and the spot on its face where it was bleeding appears to be frosted over.
And I will advance to here with my quarterstaff in hand to prevent them from flanking Nistka.
Yay.
Very cool. Nistka.
Okay. You said it's at the end of the turn that I could potentially attempt to remove the webbing?
Correct.
Okay. Is it worth the risk?
You're going to throw all these spiders to bring Dante out of the fight, and what does he do? 20 on the first turn. It's the point of these phobias.
Hey, you know what? The dice were generous today. Let's just leave it alone.
We'll see where it is tomorrow.
I know, right?
I feel so bad for Felix, just with all the we're crossing a river. It might rain.
Something like 70% of the earth is covered in water.
Jesus
Luckily,
Christ,
70% of the earth is
decided
not
that?
covered in spiders.
Yeah, they're all under the earth.
I will attempt to use my dagger to attack the one in front of me. So we're still doing this guy.
Very good.
And then after that, I will try to do the strength check.
I'll just do this, make it a little bit easier on you guys.
Are you going to label them 1, 2, and 3 or something?
They already are in the initiative, but I can just show their nameplates.
Okay.
Does everyone see the nameplates or no?
No. At the moment, I don't see nameplates.
Okay, General C.
I see my own.
Save.
There's that spider too.
Spider
You
2.
see that one?
Okay, so I have to click this box that says C for it to show. On the token.
Okay, so I'm going to be making 2 rolls against Monsieur Spider, number 2. This will be for disadvantage, so whichever's the lower of the 2 is what I'll end up using. So roll number 1. Not terrible. Roll number 2. Okay, so we take the first roll.
Wait, when we
and
take isn't the
obviously-
second roll a 24?
The second roll is a 24, but I'm rolling for disadvantage, remember? Not advantage.
Disadvantage. Okay, so yeah, you take
Correct.
the first one. So,
So
21.
it's still 21, which I believe still hits.
Yep, and we take the first damage roll because we don't roll damage twice, so
Correct.
7
so
damage.
it's 7 damage on spider number 2.
Nice. It appears to be heavily bleeding, as well as it
Good.
starts freaking out as you cut up one of the edges of its legs, and now it is 7.5 leg spider.
Good. And now, would it be a strength saving throw or just a strength roll?
It is
Like a roll
a
of the
strength
D20.
check, so it's not a saving throw.
Okay. I don't have a skill for proficiency, so I just roll a straight D20, I think.
Yeah, and add whatever strength modifier you have, if you have any.
I think I have a 0, so at least it's not a negative, right?
Sure.
Roll 1 D.
Can you just do /R D20? Yeah, you don't have to type in roll. You just do /R space.
There's also a panel on the left where if you scroll down to the D20 icon, it'll have a list of dice you can one button click.
Fair enough, yeah.
Ooh.
But I got a 10.
Okay,
Am I
DC is
free?
11, so
Damn
just
it.
shy.
I'm still trapped.
Unfortunate.
It's okay, I rolled a 1, so I'm glad I roll real dice and not this. Okay, now is Niska, since she did that. Spider 1. Spider 1 was blasted in the face with cold from a wizardy boy. So it bears its fierce mandibles upon the young Scottish Terrier.
Rude.
11 to hit.
My AC is a 14 right now.
Very good. So as it attempts to cramp its mandibles around your neck, you feel your mage armor sort of repel the mandibles backwards as it scrapes along your invisible armor. Dante.
I swing
Which way?
Better.
both ways. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's twice as many chances to hit.
Yeah.
20 to
great roll.
hit, 7 damage on Spider 1.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that spider just got thwonked in the head like at least too many times. As I will put a large badoof.
Oh, well then
As
I'm
it
heading
is.
over here instead.
Well, remember each square is
As it goes
10
onto its
feet.
back and it shrivels its legs up above its torso. That space is, since there is a corpse there, it is considered difficult terrain,
Oh,
which takes twice as much movement to move through. Obviously, it's easy
I-
enough to move around because these are
I don't-
10-foot squares to pass through the different openings, but
So wait, so then it would be
I don't know if I can get here.
so essentially
Um,
moving through that square, instead of it being 10 feet, I'm calling it 15 feet.
oh, then you might be able to make it. That would be it would be 35, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it takes
yeah.
35 feet
movement.
of movement to get where Dante is.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Then
So
I'll
So you
end
have
here.
35?
No, 30.
Oh.
Oh.
Would
Would he be able to do the all fours action, or would he not have been
Well,
able to?
I'm
attack
actually
to
curious,
get that?
Chief, from maybe or anyone who's read some more of the rules. What is the pro/con of going onto all fours? Can you not have things in your hands, like weapons, if you do the all fours, or
I am not 100% sure. I will look
because
it up.
otherwise I would always just expect you guys to go on all fours to move and then go back on hindlings to fight.
I think it takes an action
Ah.
to go in between the two forms.
Oh,
Well, my thing
And
is,
that's
I
the
would
big
assume
deal.
it doesn't work if I have a shield strapped to my arm. That doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
me.
To go on all fours while holding a weapon and a full shield, and
Yeah. So let's just say I can't for the sake of this
yeah.
combat.
I'm just curious
anyway.
as to what the rules as
I
written say.
am
Oh, of
I am
course.
looking it up now.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, we have a couple spiders that want to do some nasty deeds. So,
Leave me alone.
Niska, you look just very close to this spider. This spider has jaws of steel looking for you, and you're webbed, so it has advantage.
shut up.
Oh, you look so
Nope.
delicious to a spider.
Leave me alone.
Does a 16 hit?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh boy. Okay, I need you to make a Constitution save.
Of course, there's poison, isn't there?
Why wouldn't spiders be poisonous when they're in a D&D game?
I got a 12.
12?
Yes.
That sounds higher than an 11. You win this round.
So how
Oh,
much
I'm not
damage
rolling
did I
this
take,
dice. I
though?
rolled this dice. My bad. I was almost going to do more damage. You take 4.
Oops.
I'm not sure it's slashing or piercing, but
Well, if it's a bite, I would think it's piercing.
fair enough. As its mandibles close around your arms,
Owie.
nipping into the webbing a little bit. So the DC of the webbing goes down by 1 to 10 as they have bitten through it to get to you.
Fair enough.
Spider 2, though. Spider 2 is feeling very surrounded and doesn't like feeling like its back is exposed, and so it turns around. Honestly, it was already somewhat turned around because it shot web, but looks towards Dante with its fierce mandibles and proceeds to roll a 14 to hit. Or are you at 15?
Try again. Yeah.
Where I should have given these guys a +7 instead of. Okay, so the mandibles cannot close around Dante with his mighty shield pressed against their face. avidly protecting himself from the fierce arachnids who scurry in his dreams, but his force of his mighty rod can handle them in reality. Piper.
All right. So number 2 looks fairly wounded.
Here's a key. Welcome.
Yeah, number 2 is 7.5 legs.
Okay. Am I adjacent to it?
Yes.
Then I will attempt to thwack it with my quarterstaff.
I poke it with a stick. 17 hits, 4 damage.
Yep.
Nice good thwong to the backside. And this spider keels over. It can't take your mighty whacks of sticks from all you people.
And
What's left? Spider 3, which is currently untouched.
so moving diagonally into Spider 2 space would take me 15 feet or 30?
15, because it's your first diagonal.
Okay. 25. That's as far as I can get.
25. Very good. Niska.
Okay, so I'm still webbed, yes?
Yes, you are still webbed.
Okay. I guess I will attempt to attack the spider next to me.
Okay.
We'll still try to give it a whirl. I'm rolling with disadvantage. So we're
Thank
going
you
to
for the
make 2
reminder.
rolls here. 1. Well, yeah, that looks about right. And 2. Okay, so yeah,
Okay.
you have an
The
8.
first miss.
so
An 8 does
miss.
not hit this spider. As you attempt to slash at it, it merely flexes its large mandibles and just pushes your knife out of the way.
All right.
It is not intimidated by your
So-
qualms.
Now I will
Strength check
roll
with DC
a
10.
D20. I'm going to try to use this thingy. We just need 1 D20. Yes.
As you break free out of your sticky situation, as it were.
Yes. Which means I can't move, right? Because that was the last thing to do.
Correct.
All right. I'm not sticky anymore. Watch,
Okay.
the other spider's going to start spraying again.
Yep. The spider, seeing how it has drawn fresh blood from the Niska, craves more of its deliciousness.
Can I point something out?
Sure.
That's Spider 1's initiative. Spider 1 is dead. Spider 3 doesn't go till after Dante.
That is true.
Why are you ruining my killing of players?
Bad DM. Bad DM. No murder for you.
I'm trying to kill a character, and here you are pointing out rules that prevent them from dying.
Terribly sorry.
No,
I'll accept your
Don't be
apology
sorry.
for now.
That's true.
Dante, if you would be so kind.
Wish the spider.
I don't think I can get into flanking position, so I'm probably going to end up here instead. So there we go.
I will
That's
allow for
20
flanking
movement.
because I did put Chuckles there.
Oh, yeah.
Chuckles is holding
in
a
the corner
light.
there.
He's passively fighting.
yeah,
He
you're
can't.
right.
He never hits because he sucks, but he is there
Mhm.
as an enemy.
Yay, you
Chuckles
get
got my
flanking.
back. Oh, then
You get,
and
you
then
get
I
to,
forgot to use my macro.
well,
Okay,
What
but
you know
did I
what?
just roll again?
And 4 damage. As you take your mighty rod and you slap at its legs, causing it to go slightly off balance, as it's starting to realize that its family may not be protecting him from his backside any longer. And there's a bad situation happening. So knocked out of its
Bloodlust.
bloodlust, run away.
Aw. Attack of
Provoking attacks
opportunity?
of opportunity from 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, if Chuckles were here.
Chuckles, if only he could roll above a 1. It would be so impressive. But
All right, so
Attacks of
we do
opportunity?
get melee attacks of opportunity, so I don't have advantage, but
Oh,
yeah, only Dante has advantage because of the flanking. because he's still considered in the square that he moved from for this attack.
Is Piper, nice. I think.
Let me see.
I only
Beta's
got
roll.
a 13.
13 does hit.
Oh, 13 does hit? Sweet.
You said you only see Beta's roll?
Correct. I do not see any other rolls on the chat log.
I rolled and got a nat 20.
Yeah, Piper got a 22.
Oh, it's above Dante's macro. Okay. That's where I have to
Yes.
look. Okay. So yeah, 22 and advantage gives it only a 7. Plus your 3 plus 1 for strength, I think. But no, that is with the strength. So yeah. So 7 does not hit. So Dante with his 1 thwack does not proceed to get a secondary thwack. But critical hit damage for double dice of 9 more damage as the spider gets heavily bloodied, attempting to run away, and keels over. And I have been keeping track of this on my own, but that is enough experience for you guys to level up.
Ooh.
Ooh!
Great.
So I will allow it for a group vote of whether or not you want to go on the rules of you level up immediately, or if it's we leveled up, next session will come back as higher level characters.
Well, how
I
complex
am
would
not
it be?
sure.
And I think in this scenario, either way, because it's going on to 2 p.m., I think this is a good stopping point in either sense, but it is something to also go thinking about moving forward.
I think we stop here, right?
Yes.
Correct. We are at...
I'm not
good time.
sure how in-depth leveling up is. Like, I don't know that it requires an awful lot from any particular class. So stopping or not getting the benefits until after a session might not be necessary if we can just knock it out in a hurry.
Mhm. Fair enough.
I know
And-
sometimes in previous campaigns we used to do, let's say you've earned enough experience from a combat to level up. On the next long rest is when we all got to level up our characters so that at the start of the next day, we now have,
Yeah.
whatever extra
I
bonuses
think
we
I'm-
Kind
get.
of like that.
Yeah.
I
I
think
thought that was
for
a good way of doing it.
I've done it in many different ways depending on the group and how many hours we've had together. I think just due to the short amount of time of like this 4-hour window that we get, which possibly could go over or before, whatever. I'll probably have level ups between sessions just to make it a little bit easier and no one feels rushed to pick their spell or what have you, because I'm not sure how complicated the spell picking is. Or if I think you guys can pick like either an ability improvement or a trick and what kind of trick. I'm reading up on them. And since I'm very unfamiliar with the system, I can't answer a lot of the questions on what your ability does. So I think in between sessions is just fine. But yeah, I think we are good to pause here for today. So hopefully by next time, Chuckles will actually be useful, more so than just an advantage stick for Dante.
Useful is probably a stretch since he's being played by Felix, but
And I will let Felix know his character will be allowed to level up with the group. He is a player, so you still get to level up and get experience even if you do not show up. So don't feel like you have to show up to
Yeah,
get
of course.
the boons. You don't get choice of the loot, but you still get the boons of the experience.
Oh, speaking of loots, do we want to go over that? Like who's carrying what? Or
nah.
do you want me to
It's
just
fine.
write it down?
You're fine keeping the party sheet
Nah.
until you guys get back to a town and can either sell it or if someone wants a particular item.
So I'm gonna
So page 254 of the PDF covers leveling up.
Nice. Thank you.
right. I'm gonna go ahead
Advancement.
and edit party loot.
Is there multi-classing?
That I don't believe there is. I believe once you pick your, because I think
No.
I don't think there is multi-class. Even in regular D&D, that's a optional rule. But this would be a lot harder to do multi-classing. Because then you just spend a level to get
Oh,
access
good.
to another class's essentially tricks. Which with
Right.
only 10 levels, it's not really worth the level to just get access to another type of trick.